into the game, and we will tab over because we have some upkeep to do. So, now that I have fixed the Odeon command, which should be accurate now, badoom, there we go, we can do our beginning of Edge of the Empire session upkeep. I have cleared the dice rolls, I have synced everybody's dice pools together, but we have some stuff we need to do. The first thing we need to do is we need to roll for Destiny. So if all three of you would kindly roll your Destiny, I will set it up on the macros, and I will set it up, and I will set it up for the stream as well. Yeah, you gotta click Destiny, not dice pool, Len. But thank you very much for the 2 dark side points right out of the gate. And if you guys are at all familiar with a system called Fate, this is very similar. And I can use these fate points, which the Mandos have so graciously given me, to completely heck them up, because holy shit, that's 3 dark side points. So we are at 3-0 today. Best of luck, Mandos. I'll be giving you those soon. You guys know that I like to pass those back and forth. The other thing that we have to do is we have to roll for obligation. And since Arcos is going to be spending the session in a back-to-tank because he got messed up, we don't have to roll for Arcos' obligation, but we do have to add Kuga's obligation into this. So Lin, Sho, and Kuga, between you guys, how much obligation do you have? 60?
I believe so. I've got 30.
You've got 30.
I've got 10.
You've got 10. And Cookie, how much obligation do you have? Cookie.
Didn't realize I was muted. Hi.
You were muted. Hi.
Hi, I have 20 obligation.
Okay, so yes. So the answer is 60. So I will roll it. Let's see what we get. 54. So that is definitively Kuga.
Oh, hi.
So Kuga, yeah, one of your obligations is going to come up this session. So you're going to take 2 to your strain threshold reduced, and everybody else is going to take 1. And remind me what your obligation is, because I'm blanking.
My obligations are responsibility and disability.
Right. Yes. Okay, that's actually perfect. So, is there any other upkeep we need to do before we get started? Excuse me.
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's jump right in then, shall we? So, I can't do the voice, but I wish that I could, and I labored over making a script for Previously on the Way, and I couldn't get the writing where I wanted it, which is weird because I'm a style mimic, but I like to imagine that we have the announcer from the Clone Wars doing the flashbacks for the Way. So previously on the Way, Arcos, Sho, and Lin were told to knock over a casino on the planet. I almost said Cornifex. That is not the name of the planet. Vader, help me out.
It's close. I've forgotten.
Column X.
Column X.
Column X, little out of column Y.
Thank you. Column X. They needed to knock over a casino on Column X that was serving as a way station, for want of a better word, for the Imperial Remnant. For the record, the time period of this game is taking place after the second Death Star, but before the Battle of Jakku. And yeah, the Imperial Remnant is still a thing, but Column X is a member of the Confederation of Planets, or something like that. They don't belong to the Republic, they don't belong to the Empire, they don't belong to anybody except themselves. On the Outer Rim, near Hutt space, enough to be affected by it. Trade planet, but not in and of itself affiliated with anybody except the Confederation. And the Mandos were called in to knock over the Imperial way station in the basement, for want of a better word, of this casino. How'd that go, Mandos?
Not
was
great.
a bit rough.
I mean, you did what you set out to do. You busted up the Imperials, you blew up their supplies, you killed the Imperials, you got some information on some Beskar, but you also leveled the casino, killed some guards, and scared some patrons, which you were told not to do. But hey, shit happens, especially in war. And then you guys got pretty heavily injured. I know Lynn is nursing a critical injury. Arcos is barely conscious. Show, all things considered, made it through that pretty well, and then you guys speeder biked your asses through the planetary city of Colomex.
Show is pretty badly wounded, though.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Back to the Covert. Now, we don't like the last shot of the last episode was the 3 speeder bikes zooming over the city planet. We cut to credits. This episode, we're not starting on the bikes. We're starting with like a street view of Colomex, which the way that I imagine a Colomex street, mind you, this is with various Star Wars aliens in it, but have you guys ever seen the remake of the Wolfenstein games, especially their take on occupied America? And I don't necessarily mean like there's armed soldiers in gas masks and mech suits walking around. I'm talking about the way the streets are laid out, the way the buildings look, and the way the populace moves. I imagine Colomex looks like that because it's a trade world, but it's also very strict in its not neutrality per se, but in its construction, right? So there is art and color in life, but probably less so than you might expect on like Yavin, right? It's very structured. We see these various aliens walking up and down the street, going about their business as, you know, hover cars and speeder bikes go overhead, and we see a couple of kids, probably like a Rhodian, a Moncala, and a human, like running down an alleyway, and there's a staircase at the end of the alleyway leading underground, leading like into the subway system or something of that nature. They stop, and they like have little scared postures, and they wait, and then the ball that they were playing with flies back up the stairs, and they just run away. And the camera stays in this opening, and we fade down into the dark, into a metro station of sorts. It has been converted into a, for want of a better word, troll market. It's got stalls of various descriptions. It's got ramshackle sleeping quarters put up. There's a big vault door near the end of the tunnel, and everyone in here, or at least everyone in here that looks like they're doing something, is wearing a Mando helmet. This is a big chamber, but it is full of people, and not just Mandalorians. There were very obviously non-Mandalorians in here, like huddled around like burn barrels or like waiting in line for food or whatever. It's very much a downtrodden homeless shelter run by Mandalorians, but it is packed. It is hard to navigate through this place. Very much, I got the idea for the way this covert is structured from the Metro series, which is a fantastic series, and I cannot recommend it enough. But the very first scene of the very first Metro game that involves a city, I don't remember if it's the first scene or if you're in the tunnels at the beginning, but regardless, the first time you see civilization in Metro, it's this cramped, overly packed troll market style thing. And instead of opening into the metro ways like it does in Metro, this station is closed off. Like, this is all there is, and they have, like, they're making do with what they have, but it's a Star Wars slum at the end of the day, staffed, protected, and run by Mandalorians. Kuga, what do we see? What do we see in this sea of people as your introduction?
Like the description of Kuga's armor.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the scene? What's the scene that we see? Yeah.
I think it's Kuga weaving through the crowd of people, carrying a crate of supplies over towards the armorer.
Okay, totally. The armorer is in a higher place, set away from everyone else. So you've got a bit of a ways to go. Do you have a jetpack?
I do not.
Okay, so you're like weaving through these people. Is Kuga hidden? Like, do people know that armor means Kuga Zeal, or is it just a Mando? Like, and also, what is Kuga's reputation if people do know that it's Kuga? Like, when we see him carrying these supplies through the covert, do we see the Mandos nodding? Do we see the non-Mandos, like, greeting him? Do we have the... Hey, Vader, here's a question for you.
What's up?
The old guy at the beginning of Fallen Order, the guy who gets killed by the second sister, what species is he?
You're gonna have to give me a second to look him up.
Fair enough. Do we see the old, like, bulky alien, taking the place of, like, community head, non-Mando community head, like, hey, Kuga, good morning, like, throw you an apple or something? Like, what's Kuga's reputation in the covert?
Kuga is certainly known to most of the Mandalorians as the protege.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think some of the non-Mandalorians are just like, who the fuck is this guy?
I mean, are you generally helpful to the like, because everybody down here is like a vagrant or somebody suffering. Like, nobody is down here because they want to be down here.
Right. I mean, Kuga is helpful whenever, he sees someone that needs help.
Okay.
I got your answer.
What is that guy?
His name is Prof, and he is an Abednito?
Abednito. I don't know what that is.
I'm not, let me see here. I'm going to do some more research.
Yeah, totally. So is it kind of a like, just like, excuse me, out of the way, got a delivery, or are you like making conversation? Like, are you the Aladdin character, or are you the, like, Luke Skywalker character, basically?
I think he's more the Luke Skywalker.
Okay, so you're just kind of like, you got a job to do. You're getting through, Yeah. The people who know, but otherwise you're just one of the workers, basically.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So you're making your way through the through the covert, through these people, and yeah, the Mandos are deferring to you. We see the, like, Mando trooper walking through with a blaster rifle, and it gives you a nod and, like, gently nudges somebody aside so you can get through a narrow section with your big crate, and so on. But before you can get to the armorer, before you can get to your meeting, because you're supposed to meet him today about something important and you're not sure what it is, you're stopped by one of the, for want of a better word, communications officers. She's a Rhodian. She's a blue Rhodian. Her name's Brooke. She goes by Brooke. She's younger than you. She's not Mandalorian herself, but she helps out by, like, monitoring the comms of, like, guild activity, stuff happening in the city writ large, and if anybody goes on a mission, she's one of the people who, like, relays stuff to the other Mandos in case somebody needs help, right?
Yeah.
So she's not a Mando. She's not, like, she's Mando adjacent, right?
Yeah.
She sees you like walking by, and she makes herself visible. And the only time she comes out of her little, like, otaku communications terminal is when something bad has happened. And she just, like, makes herself visible, trying not to make a scene, but, like, she knows that you know what it means if she's out here.
Yeah. So I think, still carrying the supplies, he'll make his way over towards her.
Yeah. And she gives you a little like deferring like head bow because you're Mando. Mandos are in charge here, you know. And she says, "You're gonna want to clear the infirmary."
How many this time?
2,
That's not so bad. How many were on the mission?
3.
Ah, there it is. How bad?
It was Arcos and Show, so, you know.
Do we need to clear the back door, or are you already taking care of that?
I haven't done anything.
Not a surprise. Sorry,
He's not gonna be happy about this.
certainly not. I'll take care of it, don't worry, Brooke.
She nods. For the sake of it, Team 4 checked in. They're fine, for what that's worth. But, yeah, that casino? You know, the one that Arcos and Show and then... The casino's gone, Kuga. It's gone. They were told not to disrupt the business, and I'm just gonna go.
Right, so there goes my favorite pleasure space in this area.
You're better at dealing with anger than I am, so I'm just gonna go check on Team 4, and you can handle this. Would you like me to tell Show to find you instead of the Master?
It'd probably save her skin some, so yes.
Alright, I'm on it. And she ducks back into the little, like, bank of communication. It looks like a cyber cafe, basically. And then, yeah, so you gotta clear the armory before they get here, and from the sounds of things, they're on their way. Or the infirmary, not the armory.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, those 3. And, I mean, look down at the crate of supplies, look how close he was to getting to the armor's quarters.
Right.
Fine, I'll just deal with it. And head toward the infirmary.
Okay, so you head to the infirmary, and, like, you know, people just naturally avoid the infirmary, not because it's, like, a shitty place. I mean, it is a bit. Like, it's not, you know, the, like, New Republic's greatest hospital, or something like that. But, like, just naturally people avoid sick people, right? They avoid hurt people. Like, it's just human nature, or humanoid nature, I guess, in this case. So there's not a lot of clearing to do, but it is good to, like, let the medical droid know that, you know, you've got some heavily wounded in, prep them back to tank, all that good stuff. You do have to run off, like, a couple of kids who are playing, like, hide from their parents in the infirmary, but not a big deal. So you get that sorted, and about the same time, your comm crackles, like, inside your helmet, your comm link crackles. Yep. And Brooke doesn't, like, identify herself. She just says, "Patching you through now." And then we get split screen of Kuga standing in the armory holding this, or the infirmary holding this crate, and Show leaning over a speeder bike flying through the city.
Alright, Show, what's the damage this time?
Well, sorry. I'll.
You're alright. You're fine.
Oh, shit. If you have to ask, do you want to know?
I mean, do you want me to know, or do you want him to know?
All right. Do you specifically want damage to us or damage to to them?
Preferably both.
Arcos is unconscious, by the way. You've had to move him onto your bike.
Arcos's Achilles tendon is cut. He's unconscious. Lynn took a bit of a knock, but I should be able to treat her once I'm there. We're all a little wounded, but nothing that can't be fixed up.
That's good, at least.
Brooke is feeding you like live news coverage of the casino rubble. Kuga.
The Imperials are dead. No civilians were hurt. If that's any consolation.
Seems like you put on quite a show, though.
Can you hang on? I'm sorry. No civilians were hurt. Is there a fucking lie skill?
I mean, we killed some guards, but as far as I know, all the patrons got out.
I'm still gonna make you roll.
There's deception.
No, it would be cool in this instance. I'm gonna make you roll cool, because you are downplaying this a little bit, and that's fine. That it makes sense in character, but I'm still gonna make you roll. I'm gonna put 2 difficulty dice on this, and I'm gonna give you a destiny point to put a setback on it.
Destiny point upgrades the check.
Oh, is it? Okay. Destiny point upgrades the check. Okay. So these 2 difficulties represent you're shaken, you're like wounded, you're in shock a little bit, and Kuga already knows that you leveled the place. So go ahead and roll that cool. Did you just get neutral? Yeah,
I did.
you just got
What?
exactly neutral. Okay.
Huh.
So then, yeah, I think that plays out exactly as it did. Like, some like the patrons got out, some guards got in the way, but like, yeah, maybe Sho doesn't know the building went down. Like, yeah, it plays out exactly like you just said it did. So, but
Aside from anyone inside, were you seen?
Don't think so.
Right. Do you have any idea how much time I spent there?
There are plenty of casinos, Kuga.
You're not wrong, but that one was the most convenient.
Since when are things convenient for us?
You're right. The medical droid already knows we have a Bacta tank prepared.
Good.
you might want to ask if there was anything like salvageable, Kuga. Like, is there any good to this mission? Like, you got the Imperials, great. Like, you fulfilled the contract, so we get to eat. But like, was there anything else?
Is there anything you managed to get other than a leveled casino?
That depends. How do you feel about going treasure hunting?
Your video feed cuts, Kuka, and a little red light comes on to show that Brooke has switched you to a secure line.
That depends. Where are we going?
Brooke is good at her job.
Oh, huh. We have a lead to an Imperial Beskar refinery on Duxon.
Duxon. Well,
You know my clan history with that place.
I'm aware. I'm aware that place is important to most of us.
The Imperials don't deserve it.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
I'm sorry to take you both out of the scene because you're both role playing really well. I have to ask because it's killing me. Are you purposely giving Kuga an Imperial accent?
A little bit.
Cool. Is that gonna come up? Because that's really well done. Like, I'm sitting here going, Kuga's had Imperial training. Wait a minute, what? Good job, Cookie. Sorry, go.
I assume it's just the three of you that know.
Well, the casino owner is dead, so... Yeah.
So, you three, me, and Brooke. That's it.
As far as I know.
You get a little emoji from Brooke of a scared Rhodian hiding behind a blast shield.
Right. We'll talk more about this when you're back. How soon?
What's our ETA?
According to your speeder's telemetry, 10 minutes?
10 minutes it is, then.
Good. I might see you, I might not. I have to meet with him.
No response.
Yeah, so line cuts off on show's side, so you get the full screen of Kuga again. And before you turn the comlink off, Brooke goes, "Are you going to shoot me?"
If I shoot you, who's gonna monitor comms?
Click. So you pick up your crate of supplies, and we diagonal wipe to Kuga in a lift. It's a like octagonal, 4-columned. It almost looks like a small gazebo, like that shape of lift. Going up over the tram station, rail station below you. The armorer's like platform is where the conductor would hang out, but it's Star Wars, so they've got the like feudal looking lift system, and it's like grungy, and he's converted it into a big forge area. He's got the big like plasma forge in the middle. He's got the cabinets of tools, very obviously like Mando armor setup. And you open the door, and there's currently some Mando just like kneeling in front of the plasma forge, as the armorer, your balls, everybody's balls, is like making a chest plate, fixing a chest plate, and also like doing a sermon. And they both look up when the door opens, and we see the armorer. He's again typical looking like Mando armor. He's got the spikes on the helmet. He's got the fur-lined cloak. Badass. Difference being is the Mando armor that we've seen in official canon is like a woman. This is a big dude. Like, he's huge. He's got like big bare arms and everything. And he looks up. He says, "Ah, Kuga, there you are."
Hope I'm not interrupting something.
I could use the hand. What have you got there?
Your supplies.
Wonderful. He gestures. He says, "This one here got into a fight with, lost a fight to a nerf of all things." We're fixing up his armor. Tell me, Kuga, have you ever removed your helmet?
No.
Has it been removed by another?
No.
Have you ever been on a dishonorable hunt?
Never.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Gestures you over as he's like hammering on the chest plate, sticks it in the plasma forge, like peeks at the crate of supplies, takes it from you, sets it at his feet. What's troubling you?
What do you mean?
It's as plain as the nose on your face, boy.
Let's just say that previous mission went a little south.
I wasn't aware you were going out.
Not my mission.
Let's see, there's Team 4, Team 7, and Team 9 out currently. He pauses. And he says Team 9 kind of darkly. And he looks over, he says, "What did she do?"
Where there was once a casino is now rubble.
I told her to avoid civilian casualties. I told her to focus on the Imperial Remnant. I told her not to disrupt trade. We're not going to get the full bounty.
As far as she is aware, no civilians were harmed.
Holds a hand up for you to, be quiet. And he looks across the plaza for her. She says, "Your armor will be mended in time. For now, make yourself useful. There's hungry and sick. Go." He gets up. "This is the way." Out he goes. He turns to look at you. He says, "I wanted to speak with you, Cougar. Now, more pressing than ever."
What seems to be the trouble?
Do you know why we take these jobs? Of course you know. This has been drilled into your head for months.
To provide the covert.
And what is the purpose of the covert? I'll help you out.
Yes, please.
To keep your way of life secure in a hostile land, and to your master, to the armorer, that includes those with strength must defend those who cannot. So it's a charitable thing in his eyes. That's why it's so packed with people.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just be like, we are the best fighters. We have to use that skill and help people who need it. Everybody here is on the run.
To help those who need. To be a beacon in their light.
It is the duty of the warrior to defend the helpless. Valor, Cougar. This is the way.
This is the way.
So, as you can imagine, we need credits, we need supplies. There's always those who need passage off planet, or special medicine, healing, food, a place to sleep. It is our duty to provide this security. That is why some would say I take the risks that I do to ensure the safety of these people who rely on us, Kuka. And when a bounty is failed, we go hungry.
Yes.
We can fight while hungry. They must never know. You know this. And yeah, you have seen in, his private teachings with you, it's strange. You can't see his face. I don't think you've ever seen his face, but, from his body language, it wears on him, as you can imagine it does. It's a tiring prospect.
Yeah.
And he turns back to the forge, and he, uses a pair of tongs to pull the chest plate out, starts hammering on it again. He says, "With this setback, It is time for you to undergo a trial.
What would you have me do?
Have you decided on your crest yet?
No.
Kuga, you must find your sigil. You must. He trails off and like looks away. Your sigil is your rallying cry. It is for those who follow you to have hope, and hope is what drives this galaxy. You must be prepared to lead, Kuga. Train. The room shakes slightly as a train passes overhead.
Yes.
Not yes, Kuga. You must be prepared to lead because the time has come for you to lead. You can take that to mean whatever you want, but either he's sending you away, he's sick, or he's stepping down.
What shall I do?
It is time for you to decide who is chosen and who is not. To take them out into the galaxy and begin anew. I cannot help you with this decision. But we are too many, and our supplies are too few. It is time to expand. I have a gift in that regard. And he pulls out a little, like, hollow disc. And he sets it on the fork in front of him, and he hits a button, a little star map comes up. And, like, before you even look at it, he says, like, I have a few prospective planets here that may be of interest to you. And, of course, we don't see what he's pointing at because the camera's focusing on Kuga, because Kuga's already thinking about Duxon, right? Like...
Yep.
So he's, like, talking through some places, but it's like muffled and far away. Maybe we get, like, the like, low building hum as Kuga is distracted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it snaps back to the present with full audio as the door opens again and Sho walks in. Time has passed, we don't know how much, right? Lynn, are you with Sho or are you staying in the infirmary?
I would probably go with Sho, knowing how bad things could be.
So Lynn and Sho walk in. Arcos is not here because Arcos is unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the armorer just like looks at the two of you and just like stops talking, like quickly turns the hollow thing off and just like sighs, goes back to hammering. Report to Kuga, Team 9.
Yes, sir. Looks at Kuga.
Just steps forward in a let's hear it kind of way.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sho's going to beat around the bush here. I think she's just going to she's not going to deflect or anything. She's just going to say, "The mission was completed, albeit with difficulty. I'll accept responsibility for any complications I've caused for the Covert."
All three of you get like blips in your helmet of the payout of the bounty that you guys had by the internal like commission of the Confederacy, and then just red mark as like fees get taken from the bounty, and then the end we don't see the end number, but we see the reaction from like Kuga. We see the armorer in like superimposed in the foreground react like tense, right? What reaction do we see from the three of you when the final number is shown?
I feel like Sho, she's just standing at attention. She's holding her head level, just waiting for the repercussions.
Okay. Lynn?
Lynn looks like she's part paying attention and part sort of looking away, calculating. Like she's already thinking of what can be done.
Okay. Kuga?
Kuga's trying to be stalwart, but you can tell it's a bit of despair and a bit of like anger.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's a in the silence, I think the armorer says actually the armorer doesn't say anything. We hear the voiceover of the armorer like echoey in Kuga, like, "You will have to lead."
Give me just one moment.
Sure. So, this room, by and large, is used to upkeep all of the Mando's tools. There are several stations. There's a secondary, smaller forge, probably where Kuga does like some of the finer detail work, while the bulk of the stuff is done by the master. You've all got equipment serviced in this room. You've been here in triumph and in defeat. I'm curious, since we talked about Kuga's sigil, does Sho wear her clan sigil?
Not openly, no.
In the covert, does she?
Probably not.
Okay. Does Lynn have a sigil? Has Lynn been adopted by a house or decided to make one herself?
I don't think she has yet.
Okay. I like to imagine the armorer's sigil is like a broken gear with some kind of like horned animal in relief over the top of it, and he's got it like tattooed on his like big burly forearm, or big burly bicep rather, not forearm. I always do that for some reason. Whenever I'm thinking of the upper part of somebody's arm, I say forearm, and that's not what that is. I'm a dingus, and I apologize, because he doesn't wear like shoulder plates. He wears like the chest plate and the helmet, and then he's got like bare arms. Very very like Star Wars style in that regard.
Well, that makes sense for a utilitarian when you're doing a lot of forging.
Do either of you like want? I know you might feel like you're not in a position to ask for anything, but do either of you want any like upgrades or any tools while you're here?
Really, I need to resupply my stim packs.
That would be in the infirmary.
Yeah. As for upgrades,
You do still have that ingot of Beskar.
yeah, that's true. I was reading through lore, so I've been half paying attention.
It's fine. What you need?
Uh,
Sounds like there's
I
a
don't
question in that.
no, just a. I'm not sure what can be done with the ingot of Beskar.
You can augment some of your armor if you don't have, like, a full suit of Beskar armor. You could get, like, an augment to one of your weapons with it. And then, there's the obvious stuff, right? You could get a signet. You could get, a round of flechette. You could get, I don't think you can get a jetpack with one ingot, but you could use it for something. Or you could just, like, use it as a bargaining chip. Like, I've got this for the covert. Like, that goes a long way. Just saying.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what Sho's just gonna do after everything's said and done. She just pulls out the ingot of Beskar and sets it next to the armor near the forge.
Okay. So I think he's still working on that chest plate from the previous guy, and he sees you setting it down and peers at it for a second. He picks it up, like runs his thumb over the Imperial insignia on the bottom, and looks at it, and he looks at you, and looks at it, and he sets it in the forge. We see it like melt into its liquid state. And he says, there are those who would praise you most highly, Shoshe-Sao, for what you just brought us. It can go a long way for the covert, and know that I am not immune to the gravity of your gift. However, you cannot eat Beskar. It cannot heal a wound that is already infected. Perhaps that makes me a poor teacher.
No, sir.
It is enough for a signet, if you demand it.
I have not earned a signet yet.
And he just, like, regards you, like, his body language is completely neutral when you say that. There are weapons that can be crafted. Armor can be augmented. It is your find, and therefore it is your demand.
Out of character. I'm struggling to decide what I would want with that.
I mean, if what you want is brownie points, then you could immediately be like, give it to the foundlings.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you could even, like, if you want brownie points specifically for him, it kind of goes in the face of traditional Mando teaching, but you could be like, convert it into credit. Like, purify it, make it, do the Mando technique, make it pure Beskar, and then sell it. Like, he'd be all down for that. But it is kind of a huge breach of tradition.
Yeah, that's true. Sho's probably not going to go for that, but she has her pride. She knows she fucked up, so she's probably going to go. It'll serve the foundlings better than I.
Nods deeply. We see the ingot, like, pour into a mold, which he pulls out of the forge and sets aside. Your rifle was made in a similar fashion. This is the way.
This is the way.
But
At that, I think she's...
Yeah, you turn, and he says, but... Stop. In that very Star Wars way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am curious, Shoshe Sal. Where did you get such a thing?
Found it in the Imperial supplies at the casino.
In all the markets of Colimex, we search strongly for Beskar, and have received no reports of Imperial remnant carrying such supplies, and even more, only one. I do not speak of you withholding from the Covert, Shoshe Sal, but I would know what you know.
What I understand is the Imperials were using it as a bargaining chip for the casino owner.
But how did he get it?
They have a refinery. Apparently, if the word of the casino owner can be trusted. She hesitates for a good moment before saying, on Duxon.
Duxon? Destiny has a way of spinning back into place, doesn't it, Shosei Sal?
If you believe what the Jedi like to spout.
How do you know that word?
My clan has history with the Order. I have
The
studied.
Order's gone. Before your time.
I've studied the history of my clan, Armorer.
He nods. Then you should continue your training. You'll need a ship. Turns to look at Kuga, who I don't think is back yet. Cookie, are you back yet? Heck,
I am now.
Hi, welcome back.
Hello. I had to deal with the thing.
Everything good?
Should be.
Cool. So
I have heard the entire conversation, don't worry.
Wonderbar. Yes, you'll need a ship.
I could think of a good pilot.
Hits a button on the forge, and in a dismissive tone to the three of you, says, I can have the Bacta tank moved to the ship. And then, we, diagonal wipe to the three of you on the lift going down.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynn's sort of been in the background the whole time, intently paying attention to what the two were saying between them, but also tapping away on her data pad, making calculations.
Right, totally.
Well, that went a whole lot better than I thought it would.
You're being sent out into space for what might amount to a wild insert name of a Star Wars foul here. Chase. I'm not sure how this qualifies as good necessarily.
Only time will tell.
The lift sets down, opens back into the, like, busy market. Unless of course Sho starts doing the Winter Soldier walk, in which case it's not busy anymore.
She's just like making her way to the infirmary with.
Okay. Kuga, you going with him?
Yeah.
Oh. You can start making your way to the infirmary, and like, technically, the armorer's like chambers are off limits to most people and secure. Like it's periodically swept for bugs and such things. And yet, when you get a lot of people in a really closed space, stuff tends to get found out. So there's a lot of like whispering and pointing as the three of you are walking through the covert.
Well, people have probably also seen the news feeds by now.
Probably. Any conversations you guys want to have?
I can't think of one.
Alright.
I guess Lynn is reluctantly putting herself in position to be treated by Sho. This is kind of let's get this over with.
Is Sho going to be doing the treating, or is it going to get passed off to the medical droid?
I suppose that's a good question.
Because that gives Sho and Kuga a chance to talk privately.
Sho's probably gonna get a med scan and all that before leaving it to the medical droid.
Okay. I mean, Sho knows the same thing that Vader knows and that I know regarding Lynn and Arcos' condition. I do need to clarify something. He didn't get his ankle cut. He got his hamstring cut. Yeah,
okay.
his groin got severed, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, Arcos is doing the Weapon X like float in the back to tank. Got a helmet on, got the big like breathing cord coming out from underneath the helmet. Basically naked otherwise, a big Transocean lizard man. And then yeah, Lynn gets like pulled into a little like side room, and the curtains are drawn around it, leaving Sho and Kuga a chance to like discuss terms, and not to lead too much because I want you guys to roleplay and tell your story, but like if we are going like full Star Wars with this, like Kuga, now's the perfect time to like look over at Sho and be like, let's get some soup.
Well, you've had a trying morning. How about we get some grub?
Looks at him.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was literally just gonna say, like, do you guys ever remove your helmets inside the covert or no? That was literally my only question.
That's kind of a bit of a gray area, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Especially given what you know about the armorer and how he's not a stickler for the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuga doesn't, not for the reason of keeping to the ways, but for the other reason.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Valid.
Sho's in contact with Bo-Katan, so she's probably rubbed off on her
Okay.
a bit.
Fair. So I like the idea that we crossfade to the two of you like sitting at like a little outdoor like eatery, like noodle shop thing, and somebody puts like some Star Wars looking like noodle dishes in front of the two of you, and then yeah, you guys can like have this like relatively personal conversation, and I'm gonna shut up and let you guys do that. Or not, apparently. You guys good?
I was waiting.
Sorry, I had to respond to a thing.
Ah.
So, Duxon,
What about it?
Imperial Refinery, seemingly a large amount of Beskar. What can you tell me about it?
Dates back to ancient Mandalorian history. How much do you know about the Old Republic's war with the Mandalorians? Not back, like, say, 400 years ago. This was more like millennia ago.
I've only heard of Mandalore the Great fighting an enemy stronger than Mandalore itself.
It started on Duxon. It was where the Mandalorians first launched their attack on Onderon. There may still be ancient caches undiscovered, along with the refinery.
There could also be Imperial Remnant.
I don't doubt that. I'm more concerned about the wildlife. Duxon isn't called the Demon Moon for nothing.
Kuga.
Yeah.
I wanna put a modifier on this scene, if I may.
Okay. Sure.
Your obligation has come up.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you wear your helmet for medical reasons.
But you can't wear it to eat food.
What I was going to say, well, yes, that's that. But also, what I was going to say is, you've been on your feet for most of the night. Like, you haven't really bedded down to sleep yet, and you haven't eaten in the better part of an entire day. So,
Sounds about right.
your choice on what you want to do here. That would be why your strain threshold is lower.
Okay.
I'm giving you the chance to fix that right now, but...
Yeah. I you know what? Cause Sho is doing it, and it almost seems like disrespectful for him not to do it. He'll take off the helmet.
Okay. So, we see Sho is human, right?
Yes.
Does she wear the, I don't know what it's called, but does she wear the, like, jumpsuit hood thing that some people wear under a helmet that, like, conforms to your skin?
I sort of know what you're talking about.
Or does she do the Bo-Katan thing where she has perfect hair and makeup when she takes the helmet off?
Probably the latter.
Okay, fair enough. So what does Sho look like?
Hold on. I've got character info stuff for this. So she's got brown hair. She's had it cut sort of in a similar fashion to Bo-Katan, if you know what that looks like.
Yeah. Does she have the headband that Bo wears on the top of her head?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I almost said tiara, and I was like, no, it's not a tiara.
Yeah.
Human, like Caucasian, I'm assuming?
Yeah, she's she doesn't like really accessorize at all or anything, but
I mean, she must wear a helmet. Why would she?
Yeah.
For some reason, I imagine that she has freckles. I don't know if that aligns with you or not.
Honestly, I can see it. Yeah.
Like dark hair, because she's on the younger side, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Kuga, you take your helmet off, and Kuga's a Twi'lek, as I understand it. But you are wearing the like coif thing that I was describing a minute ago, because you have to, because yours actually like fits into the front of the suit. But like two of the main things that we notice about you is you don't have any leku. And then the back of the back of your head like bandaged, or is it just like tastefully covered?
It's tastefully covered.
Tastefully covered. Okay. But yeah, it's like very obviously a Twi'lek. Like you've got the head shape of a Twi'lek. You've got the start of leku. So your head, like the koi thing that you're wearing has the two like bulbs on the back, but it just ends. There's no leku. And yeah, like when you stop breathing like filtered air, and where like the back of your head is still covered because of the suit, but yeah, there's definitely like a noticeable like intake of breath from Kuga. And so this is something that like if you've worked with Kuga before, like this isn't like a surprise. But maybe you've never, like, broached it, and it might... Now is certainly not the time to broach it. I'm just saying, like, whether or not you know why Kuga doesn't have any leku is up to you.
Mm-hmm. Even if she didn't know, I think she can assume pretty safely.
Fair enough. For the record, I'm imagining, like, thicker udon-style noodles in, like, a clear yellow broth with, like... identifiable like scallion, lotus root, and then some stuff that's sci-fi in it as what you two are eating, because all of that stuff is cheap, you know.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy.
Something else I would like to add to this scene, just for the sake of it. Show Kuga was in the armorer's room when you went to report. Like that's not necessarily standard. Like Kuga was doing something in there when you rolled in.
I mean, he did say that he had a meeting with the...
But you don't know what the meeting's about.
Right.
So, what do you have to say to you?
Oh... Where do I begin? He believes it's time for me to fly the coop, if you will.
Is the name of your ship the Coop?
No. Like, fly out of the coop.
I know what you mean, but it would be really funny if your ship was called the Coop. Anyway.
No, my ship has a different name. We'll get to that later.
Fair enough.
He believes it's time for me to take some of our own and create a new.
And you know, from the musical cue and like the camera angles focusing on Sho, like it is reasonable that Sho could draw the conclusion of, oh, this is my fault. Kuga's being sent away because I fucked up. I'm not saying that is definitively what happened, and I'm not saying that's definitively what Sho thinks, but that could be a thought process that she has. Totally.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was reading again. I didn't quite catch that.
I was saying that, like, with with Kuga being sent away, Sho could feel responsible. Not it doesn't have to, but like it's certainly plausible.
I'm trying to figure out how to put that into words.
Okay.
You shouldn't be responsible for my own failings.
I'm not sure it's entirely your fault. Look around us, Sho. There's too many here. We can't always find what we need to keep everyone fed.
Roll 20 is hacking up my music. Sorry, guys.
Supplies have always been on the lower side. We need to be able to have people be elsewhere, where they can get what they need.
I suppose. If only Mandalore weren't a desert.
Who knows? One day we might end up there.
It occurs to me I didn't ask this. What color Twi'lek is Kuga?
I'm glad you asked. Kuga is lavender skinned.
Nice. Purple Twi'lek. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Isn't that rare?
Yes.
Thought so. So one of you is going to have to broach the topic of going to Duxton together. Like, I can't do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
He wants me to get a few more able bodies and go off somewhere. He was giving me some ideas, but there's only one that kept coming to my head.
Duxton.
Yes.
It's not going to be simple tracking down a refinery on a jungle moon. But when were things ever simple for us? She smiles.
This is the way.
This is the way.
The music swells. And yeah, I think, like, do we assume that Lynn is informed, or do we want to have a scene of informing Lynn? Because, like, I think, like, we could diagonal wipe to either, like, Lynn, like, coming out of the infirmary with Kuga and Sho, like, explaining, being like, what? Are you out of your mind? Or we can diagonal wipe to, like, the three Mandos doing the, like the astronaut walk to the space hangar, right? The slow motion, like, again, Winter Soldier, like, Armageddon to the space hangar walk. Either one is valid and cool. Whichever one you guys think is more cool is fine with me.
Yeah. I will be right back.
Okay, well, that answers that question then. So, yeah, so we diagonal wipe to Lynn. You could be in the infirmary, you could be leaving the infirmary, whatever, but Sho and Kuga just said, hey, we're making a new covert on Duxton. What's Lynn's reaction?
do you know how many wild beasts are on that moon? And she starts pulling up statistics.
Uh-huh. Perfect.
There's probably still an Imperial presence.
Yeah.
Wait, and you want me to go there with you?
Well, I'm not sure about show, but I'm not the best in nature. And you're one of our best.
Oh, yeah, yes. Is still typing on the databed. Totally in one with nature here, yes. But, she starts thinking, I suppose, depending on how long the refinery has been there might be traces, elements that we could track. If we
I love
just
the
get
idea.
A few...
I'm back.
I love the idea that in the background of this scene, Show is just unhooking the back to tank with Arcos in it and putting it on a hover dolly.
Uh-huh. I also need to get patched up as well because I'm pretty badly hurt, just not injured.
I assume that's been done, so you can just clear that. So yeah, Kuga's trying to convince Lynn of the nonsense.
And I need stim packs resupplied.
You can get... How many do you want, first of all?
I've got 2 left. I started with like 5.
Okay. This will be your last chance to resupply for a while, probably.
Yeah, so I probably want to stock up on like 10 of them.
You want like
I've
10?
got credits if I need to pay for them.
It's not that you need to pay for things in the covert, it's that you may not be able to get them in the covert. So I currently don't have a hand free, but is there a skill for like bartering or some such?
Yes, there is.
Coercion, I believe, or charm.
Charm would be better. Make a charm roll with 1 difficulty. Actually, 1 challenge flat, and that's it.
Okay.
Ooh. So you get what you want. You got a success, but you also get a despair.
Yeah.
So the medical droid is like, sure, whatever you need, Team 9, and like goes to get you like the 10 stim packs, but you notice that there's only 9 in the drawer, and the droid is getting all 9 of them.
Actually, 5 will suffice.
Recalculating, puts 4 back, passes you the 5.
Yeah.
And Lynn, as she's in mid-thought process, stops and looks at Kuga and says, well, for what purpose are you being sent with us to establish a new covert? What? And she kind of, gestures to all the refugees and such that they're taken care of here at this covert. What would be our purpose? In Duxton, of all places.
Well, assuming there isn't a big Imperial remnant, we would be able to provide for people who need it. Become as this place has been.
Noisy, cramped, understaffed. No privacy.
Yeah, she kind of looks around at that. Oh,
Okay, not exactly this place,
I mean,
but
no. See, that's the thing. Like, Lynn looks around and like sees all that, but also sees like relief. Like, we see Lynn like look at like a. It looks like just like a younger alien, and like we don't see anything like maybe they're dressed a little bit differently than most aliens of that species. Talking to a Mandalorian, clear relief on their face. They had to like run away from home because of some life choice that they made. We see like a family with kids huddled around a barrel with fire coming out of it, who like you guys know like lost their home in like a flood or something. Like there is hope here that, you know, again, hope is like the driving force of Star Wars. Like, so, you know, Kuka's words ring true a bit.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, I have a free hand now. Thank you for dealing with that, Vader.
Yeah.
I just scarfed down a quick snack because I haven't eaten. Anyway.
Yep.
So I do have some ideas to perhaps help us find at least the place to look for this refinery, but establishing a covert, that it gestures to Kuka, that's your domain.
it's my domain now. But it'll be all of ours as soon as it starts.
It would be a core world's role to recall any information about current stuff on Onderon, right?
On Onderon, yes.
Yeah.
You feel free to make that. Have you ever been to Onderon?
Probably not. It's in the mid-rim, so...
Okay. I'm going to give you an upgrade on this because you said you studied your clan's history, but I'm going to put 3 difficulty on this because you're not intimately familiar with Onderon. I'm going to give you a setback die because you're thinking while trying to follow the conversation, and then I'm going to upgrade the check once in case you want something specific.
Uh-huh.
I love this dice system.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll that. Okay. 3 successes and an advantage. So that's pretty... Or 2 successes and an advantage, rather. That's pretty good. So, what do you want to know?
I was looking to recall, like, what sort of civilization was on Onderon, their military... I know ancient history of Onderon, but I don't know much about current stuff, and I'm looking it up now, but I'm not.
I don't
seeing
know
a lot.
anything, so whatever you find will be what show recalls because you got 2 successes.
Yeah,
I think
they joined. They're not Republic. They haven't been since the Old Republic.
The Old Republic, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, they've been independent for thousands of years. They joined the Confederacy during the Clone Wars.
But that was still, like, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. There was an Imperial military facility on it near the one settlement on Onderon, which is Isis, the city of Isis. Onderon is mostly jungle like Duxon.
Right. So is the intent to go to Port Nyanzaru? I mean, Onderon first?
I mean...
That was a joke. It's fine.
Yeah, I gotcha. There's only one settlement on Onderon, the city of Isis. Do we want to stop there and stock up?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Well, that depends.
It's not Republic.
But how many people do we want to know of our presence?
Yeah, excuse me.
And our intentions?
I'm
As
also
far as I know, there's not much reason to be there.
true.
Like, Lynn makes a point. That could go one of two ways. Bunch of Mandos show up, going to Duxon. That could be, oh, well, they're historians. They're just going to go get themselves killed. Or it could be taken as, oh, shit! Depending on who you speak to. So Lynn's got a point there.
The ancient Onderonians were not fans of Mandalorians, but I don't know how much of that is still accurate.
I mean, listen, the Mandalorians are much more secret than the Jedi, and most of the Jedi have been forgotten about, so I think, for the most part, it would be ambivalence, but...
Plus, Mandalorian armor has also changed over the millennia.
While that is true, like Jin and Boba can walk around openly, right? Like, I don't think there's ever a point where they're like, Mandalorians, get them! Like... So I think it would be okay, but there's always the chance, right? Like, there's always the chance.
Well, I got most of the stims I need.
It is openly known that the planet and the moon have close orbit with each other, right?
Yeah,
I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like
So
you're going to It's not like you're going to Ilum, man. Like, people know about Onderon and Duxon. Like, there are very few like secret
history.
planets in the galaxy. Sorry, what?
Just wouldn't necessarily know about the ancient history.
Right.
Well, if we don't really need much, it wouldn't be difficult to go to Onderon should we find the need.
I think it would be... Would it be out of the purview of Sho's knowledge, or at least a very difficult check to recall history of the Sith on Duxon?
She knows the word Jedi. We've established that.
Yeah.
But is there a skill for, like... Are the history and lore skills separated only by, like, planet and system, or is there, like, a force history?
I mean, there is...
It'd be lore. Yeah, it'd be lore. Yeah, let me...
Depending on the difficulty, I'm not going to bother.
I'm going to put at least 2 red on it. I'm going to put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm still debating on the rest.
I'm still assuming that's like a daunting check, like a 4 difficulty.
It would, except she already knows about the Jedi. So,
yeah.
If she studied, like, Mandalore fighting the Jedi, okay, you know, Mandalorians know your enemy. Like, okay, so I'll do this. I'll set it up this way. I'm going to give you 3 green bonus because you study your enemies. That's the Mandalorian thing, right?
Okay.
I'm going to give you an upgrade because you are related to Mandalore the Preserver, and your enemy would be the Jedi. The enemy of the Jedi is within your purview. Now, to apply that to Duxon and the Sith, so you have to know what the Sith are, know where they are, and know that they're associated with where you're going, right? So that's going to be 2 red out of the gate. And then I
have a question, though.
Go ahead.
From what I understand, wasn't the Mandalorian conflict with the Jedi because of the Sith?
I don't know.
Yes, actually. There was a Sith Emperor behind the scenes that basically pulled the strings of the entire Ancient Wars.
I'm still going to count that as Lynn helping you because Lynn finds information and feeds it.
Nobody knew about that besides Revan.
I mean, I'm still going to give you a boost because you need it for this check.
Yeah.
I'm going to put 1 purple on it. Actually, I'm going to put 2 purples on it because this is difficult. And then I'm going to put a setback on it because, again, you mentioned Revan. And then, I know it's not how this works, but I'm going to move my last fate point up, or one of my last fate points up, and put another black die on this. So you're looking at 1 blue, 3 green, 1 upgrade, in addition to your lore roll, and then on my side, 2, 2, and 2.
Alright.
If you want to make that roll, feel free. Wow. Okay, so you got a failure and 3 threat, but you did get a triumph. So, with the triumph, definitively, you know that there is a dark force presence on Duxon. But with the failure, I don't think you know what a Sith is. And I think the 3 threat indicates when you were digging about this, somebody knows that you were looking.
Yeah.
And I'll bring that up later.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Thank you. But
you go.
But you get what you want. You got the triumph. Like,
Yeah.
you get what you want.
And Linda's like, join the club.
Duxon's known for having some sort of dark presence. I don't know how to put it.
We'll just have to keep our wits about us then.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Well then, when do we leave?
Immediate cut to the 3 of you pushing the hover dolly and doing the Armageddon walk to the ship. And Kugo, would you like to set the scene for us? What does the hangar look like, and what does the ship look like?
Fuck. So... the hangar I'm unsure about.
Okay. Well, then immediately my mind goes to it's a tramway terminal, like it's the actual like tram tube thing, but when it exits the side of a hill where there would normally be a raised track like you see in modern Earth like railway systems, there's just a hole and the ship just keeps flying.
Nice.
The inside of the hangar looks like a bunker, like what you imagine a bunker looks like. It's got the big doors on the front, reinforced, hidden from the actual like tram opening. The big reinforced doors have been put in, and then there's individual like bays for the various ships coming and going, because you guys don't only operate on Column X. So your ship is probably like between 2 others. We see like a pod racer like elsewhere, like being like moved through the hangar. We get the overhead shot. What does your ship look like?
I linked the reference image in the Odeon chat.
Right, but
Yep.
like not only that, but Kuga
If
has.
you want to put it on stream.
I will, but Kuga also has like, what is it called? Like stylish paint job or some shit.
Hang on, let me... what the fuck is it called? Why can't I? Oh, here we go.
Give me one quick second.
Fancy paint job.
Fancy paint job. Give me one quick second, chat. There we go. Just didn't want you guys to see my internal desktop structure, but this is the book reference for the ship that they have. But then, yeah, what does your fancy paint job look like, Kuga?
So the fancy paint job for it is, the ship has been painted with like dark blues and spotted with light blues and cyan. At the head of the ship, it has like in a gate mouth of like a sea creature.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And on the side in the Star Wars lettering is written the Leviathan.
Oh, I'm into it. I'm into it. I also would have accepted the Dagon. Totally. Okay, so you guys are like walking up to the Leviathan. The big starship's been painted to look like this Kraken-esque figure, and like the bay is open. You guys like push.
I also would have accepted the bigger fish.
Yes, yes, good one. Like you guys push Arcos like up the ramp into the bay, like plug him back in so that he can continue healing. And then, like, yeah, you guys like go and start getting your stuff settled. You've all been in the Leviathan before. You have, like, you have rooms that are yours. You just empty them out when Kuga goes out with a different team. But like, it's understood. You guys know where everything is. Kuga, you go to get like the ship primed and ready. You like retract the gangplank, close the door, test the thrusters. You know, you're doing all the pre-flight checks, and your proximity sensor starts going off. Like not immediately. Like you sit down, you're doing all the checks. We cut over to like Lynn and Show like putting their stuff in their rooms as well as putting Arcos' stuff in his room. And then like we cut back and you're just like, okay, testing. And you go to get in contact with the tower to like, you know, so that you don't run into anybody coming in, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like you can't get a hold of Brooke. And then your proximity sensor starts going off.
Is this something we all would hear?
Yeah, probably. It's just like this. It's not like red alert, everything's on fire, but there is probably like an alert that goes throughout the whole ship. Just like a couple of dings and like maybe a red light.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not part of pre-flight procedure.
Certainly not. Could one of you check what that is?
I think we'll immediately go to the nearest relevant panel and...
Yeah, you go to the nearest relevant panel. You bring up basically the backup camera on the car, and you look out, and there's a little Rhodian with like a plasteel traveling crate and some suitcases, like leaning against the like landing strut of the plane, and she's just like waving at the camera.
Is that Brooke?
Yeah.
It's Brooke? Were you expecting company?
In a way. I think it's just I didn't actually expect her to come along. Open the hangar door.
Yeah, you open the like back of the ship and extend the gangplank, and she's just like calmly like pushing her luggage into the back of the ship.
I think Lynn is near the hangar door.
Probably.
Or I mean Show.
Okay.
Show is near the hangar door, just like probably leaning against the wall.
Yeah.
And why exactly do you want to come with us?
Brooke is making little like effort noises. She pushes the dolly up the back of the ship. It's like, why exactly do you want to come with us? Because none of you can run a comm to save your life? Or a scanner?
Lynn just kind of tips her head incredulously.
You can cut into them
away.
and leave them to burn, but you can't use them. Besides, I don't think any of you know Republic clearance codes.
Not yet.
It's not like we're going to the core.
And there's absolutely no X-Wing patrols outside of the core. You're right.
Fine. And just like begrudgingly, Show goes to just help with her luggage.
Yeah. Besides, what is it you say? This is the way?
This is the way.
She like beams over at Kuga.
This is the way.
And Lynn is still tapping away. This is the way.
So you don't actually have another room, so somebody is either going to have to bunk with Brooke or bunk up. And I think it would be endlessly funny if it was Brooke and Lynn, but that's just me.
No, I can see that.
That being said, do you have a co-pilot seat in the Leviathan?
Of course I do.
Okay, so I think, like, once you show Brooke to her room, like, she pops out in the cockpit as you're getting ready to lift off, and just, like, seats herself down in the co-pilot seat, pulls out this big, like, 1920s Earth headset, and, like, puts it on, like, and then, like, plugs the aux cord, like, directly into the console in front of her.
I mean, Kuga was absolutely looking at her the entire time, and after Sin, she gives him that look. It's just kind of a, yeah, why not?
I was expecting Sho to be co-pilot, honestly, but
I was too, actually.
I was also. However, you can tell her to get bent. It's fine.
I mean, honestly, no, because Sho sees the practicality in that.
All right. So you turn back to the console, Kuga, and you're about ready to zip off into space, and we hear Brooke, like, get on the comms as if she was in the tower, instead of in your ship, and she like gets clearance and then, like, gestures for you, like, where you need to go. We see that in the background, but as you're taxiing out of your little stable and onto the, like, exit of the covert, potentially for the last time, right before we cut to engaging thrusters and firing, Brooke just goes, "Do I have to wear a helmet?" Like, and then yeah, like we cut to wherever you guys want to cut. I'd rather not cut directly to Onderon, but if there's anything in space you guys want to do, any conversations you want to have, as much time as you guys want to have can pass, and we can do whatever scene you guys want as a Leviathan is flying through space.
Hyperspace.
Well, that was my next question. Do you have a hyperdrive on the Leviathan?
Of course we have a hyperdrive
Okay, just
on the
checking,
Leviathan.
just checking.
What do you think I am, some kind of nerd?
How the hell would we get across the galaxy without one? Like,
Very slowly.
Exactly.
sublight travel is...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, valid, but you could have, like, one of those, what is that? I don't know what it's called, but Obi-Wan had that, like, ring thing on his starfighter that was really cool.
You could have... that was the hyperdrive attachment.
Right, you could have something like that. You could, like stow away on the slipstream of a freighter or something.
Yeah, that was mainly because it's a small starfighter. This is a freighter.
I mean, valid.
Hyperdrive.
I'm just saying there are ways around it. But if you guys have a hyperdrive, then everything is fine.
Isn't there a Star Wars term for non-hyperdrive travel?
Yes,
like sublight or something.
Sublight.
Well, no, but I mean the process of using sublight to travel long distances. I thought there was a term for that.
There probably is, but I don't know what it is. So yeah, so does anybody have a scene they want to do in space? Because if not, I'm just going to start throwing Sarlaccs at you.
Look, I think Lynn wants to check up on Sho, just to get a feel, because she can tell that Sho's was under a lot of pressure, and after how the mission went, and then going to a planet where she's apparently got a lot of his personal history, or maybe not personal history, but family history. I think Lynn just wants to see how how show is doing.
Okay, so we get the like fade of fade in on like show like sitting at a metal like desk set into the wall in a little like ship cabin, and maybe she's like disassembling her rifle and like cleaning it as there's a chime at the door, and then Lynn steps in.
Turns around. Is there something you need? Don't tell me the medical droid malfunctioned again.
Oh, not yet anyway.
There's no medical droid on this ship, just saying.
No, I meant back in the infirmary.
Got it.
Oh, no, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. No, I came to check on you.
I'm patched up just fine.
Oh, I have no doubts about that, but we had a rough time, and you took the brunt of it, and now we're suddenly off on a long journey for at a place unknown to most of us, and you seem to have quite a family history with it, at least. That seems like quite the burden in a way.
Family is not accurate. Nobody's been to Duxon in over 1,000 years. Nobody important, at least.
Which leaves even more uncertainty in our venture then.
This has to do with the ancient history of my clan.
And how is ancient history going to help this covert we are founding?
How much do you know about Mandalore the Preserver?
I remember the name in our teaching, but they didn't dwell on it much.
He is the reason Mandalorians still exist in this time. If he hadn't rounded up the wayward clans after the Mandalorian Wars, there wouldn't be Mandalorians. We'd just be mercenaries for hire.
Well, I think it takes more than one person to have continued our heritage for so long.
Certainly, those who came after kept the way. But after the Mandalorian Wars, we were scattered.
We still are.
You can thank the Empire for that.
Lynn is kind of contemplative for a moment.
Conflict is our history. It's our nature.
What's the nature of the universe? There can be no life without conflict.
I don't know what I'm going to find on Duxon. But I just get this feeling that I have to be there. Refinery or not.
So Lynn, you go to say something after that. We see Lynn like posture change as she's about to speak, and there's a rumble that goes through the ship, and all the lights turn red, and we immediately smash cut to the cockpit, where Brooke is in the middle of saying to Kuga, like, I don't recognize these ion signatures, but there's 3 of them, and they're firing on us again! You are currently being closed in on by 3 ships.
Oh boy.
Vader, if you could bring up the ship combat rules, I'd appreciate it, because I'm not sure how this works.
Yes, I will do so.
Kuga, what are you doing?
A lot of it is the same as personal combat, just on a much larger scale.
Cool.
There are 4 range bands to worry about. Close, which is dogfighting range, and then there's also short, medium, long, and extreme. Long and extreme are capital ship ranges, so...
Noted.
Oh boy, what did I come back to?
You come back to your ship being fired upon by 3 other ships.
I will get you the starship and vehicle weapons table in just a sec.
So is this before or after we traveled in hyperspace?
You've been in hyperspace for a little bit, and you're... Yeah. Like, you can't be in hyperspace the whole time, as I understand it. You have to come out periodically for stuff and things.
There you go.
Thank you.
There are modifiers based on the size of the ship, which is represented in vague terms by its silhouette.
Noted.
I believe the silhouette of our ship is 4.
Okay.
Our ship's silhouette is 4, yes.
The ships on your radar have a silhouette of 1.
That's like speeder bikes.
Okay, 2 then. They're small.
Yeah, so starfighters.
Yep. But Brooke doesn't recognize the ion signatures. So yeah, like, literally, like, we had that touching, like, somewhat touching scene between Lynn and Sho, and I know it got cut short, but yeah, like, you get, the ship gets fired upon Kuga, and Brooke is trying to open communications, and it's not working. What do you do?
Right. Just in case, we need someone on the gun.
I guess that's me, because Arcos is our gunnery guy, but...
Yep. Arcos is currently in traction, sorry.
Yeah.
So you run over, you jump on the gun. As Brooke goes, got it! And then, Kuga, your view screen, like, pops up with a hologram of someone. It's not a person, it's a logo. And it's a logo that you immediately recognize as, oh fuck. It's Black Sun.
Oh.
And yeah, a voice comes over. Probably Transdotion. It's not really clear. But it says it's got like the hissing tone of a Transdotion. It says like, "Shoshe Sal, you thought you could hide from us, huh?"
Ooh boy.
So I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
Damn it, Sho.
I'm trying to... I need... let me...
Initiative.
So this would be vigilance, I assume.
Yeah, because you guys got caught by surprise. In fact, I'm gonna give you guys all a setback because you got caught by surprise. Go ahead and roll it. Okay. What does a triumph count for in initiative?
I don't know, actually.
Fair enough.
Allow me to pull up Starship Combat, because that seems useful for now.
Yes. So it's gonna be APC, and then let me roll for friendly NPC as well.
It seems like a triumph just counts as a success in initiative.
Cool. Wow. Okay. So Brooke is gonna go first, then any PC can go, then Black Sun will go, and then 2 PCs will go. That's how that's gonna work. So I know I just said that, but Brooke is gonna hold her turn until like you tell her what to do because she's completely out of her depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyone can go.
All right. So,
Who wants the first slot?
Well, I was gonna ask, is there any way to like do a better scan of the ships to determine a weak point or something we could exploit?
That is certainly something a splicer can do.
I think maybe do that first to see what the best course of action would be.
Okay. So it sounds like
If
Lynn wants the
that's-
first slot.
If that's okay with everyone.
Does the
Yeah.
Leviathan have scanners, like good scanners?
it's got. I think its scan range is short, which is.
Yeah.
But they're close. They're in close range. So
Absolutely, they're in close range.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you an upgrade on this roll as well as a boost. And then if anybody else has any modifiers to give, that's fine. To get this information, it's your computer. That's definitely that's good for another boost, or rather an ability die for that. It's your ship. You are being fired upon, which is a setback. Difficulty 2 base. I'm not going to give an upgrade. This is a pretty decent check. Go ahead and roll that computer's check. Wow. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, if I were a better DM and I knew Edge of the Empire better, with 5 successes and 2 advantage, I would tell you exactly what these ships are outfitted with. But I'm going to defer to Vader for this, in that Black Sun is a bunch of mercenary groups, so I need a small starfighter meant for hit and run attacks. I need 3 of them, and they have just like standard equipment.
Okay. I'm gonna look in the Dangerous Covenants book.
Good,
for
good
that.
plan. So these are just like mercs sent to rough you guys up. Like you're not fighting like TIE destroyers or whatever. Like
Dangerous Covenants doesn't actually have any vehicles in it.
okay. Try Age of
Well-
Rebellion.
Age of Rebellion is more military stuff.
Mm,
I was looking specifically in the book for hired guns.
got it.
Let me look in Lords of Nalhutta.
Okay.
For those who haven't heard the disclaimer yet, we're not the biggest Star Wars fans. TIE Destroyer.
Sorry. I picked a ship that I figured relative Star Wars fans would understand.
No, it's not that. It was just it's a funny combination.
Is TIE Destroyer not a thing?
It's Star Destroyer and TIE Fighter, and you.
There's a bunch of
conflated
different
it.
TIE fighters though, and I thought one of them was a TIE Destroyer.
Maybe
No,
you're
there's
thinking of the TIE Defender.
Maybe
There's
that's
TIE
what I'm thinking of.
bombers, TIE interceptors.
The point is you're not going for TIE defenders. This is just like
Yeah, like they're a little bit. I imagine they're a little bit better than Z95 headhunters, but not much.
yeah, basically.
It took.
I think
me
I found a
too
good
long to
one-man
remember
ship.
that.
Okay.
I will give you its stats in Odeon chat.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The Mondel Motors M3A Psych Interceptor. All right. Pardon me, chat. Yes, this looks like about what I want. Okay.
It's silhouette 3 instead of 2, but
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, one pilot. Yep, this is what I'm looking for sure. Okay, so you've got 3 of those on your radar.
Scanners show that there's 3 single-man fighters. They're lightly armored, lightly weaponed, but they're fast, so I don't think we're gonna outrun them.
Good to know.
So the 3 NPCs are gonna shoot, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine their shoot pools together into one attack, which is gonna be a.
Ooh, that's
What's up?
that's gonna do a lot of overcoming of our. Actually,
No, if anything,
You know.
it's the weaker move.
yeah.
You're fine. That being said, they are going to use a heavy laser cannon,
Okay.
which will be 6 damage if they hit, and then it's a gunnery check, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So they are at close range,
So
which
and,
is what is that difficulty? 2 probably.
Sorry, I'm.
You're fine. Okay, I'll just do what feels right then. So I'll make it
Yeah.
difficulty 2. They caught you by surprise, so I'm going to give them an upgrade. And let's see how this goes. Ba-doom. Oof. It's going to be 9 damage is what that's going to be to your ship.
Okay.
That is before armor and such things, mind you.
Yeah. So we have an armor of 4, so that's going to be 5.
Okay, so you pop, 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 pop. They strafe in and do a shoot. Any PC can go.
We have shielding on the rear end, don't we, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where they were shooting at?
They're strafing, so not really.
Okay.
It would just a ship of our size only has 2 locations to hit, fore and aft, and on the side it would still count as them shooting at the fore or the aft, depending on where they're hitting.
Oh, then yeah, probably only half then.
Okay.
That would, I believe, it would be the same as armor, so it would add a setback die to future checks.
Noted.
Yeah, we do have a defense in our aft, so.
All right, so I will make a note of that for next time. In the meantime, any PC can go.
All right. I think Show's gonna fire. What weapon does the ship have?
We have a medium laser cannon.
Okay. I'm gonna add those stats into my sheet real quick.
Yep.
That's full arc, right? It can hit in any direction.
Yep.
Cool. These things are small and maneuverable, so I'm gonna give you 2 difficulty 2, 1 setback because they're small and maneuverable, and then I'm gonna put an upgrade on it by giving you my last destiny point. So whenever you want to roll that, feel free.
Yeah, I'm just inputting.
Yeah, take your time. I'm just saying. Oops.
All right.
And you guys do have destiny points if you want to use them. Don't forget.
Yeah. I might give you a destiny point back to get rid of that upgrade.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Roll. I gotta input the name properly. That should do it. No? Sorry, I'm trying to...
No, I see.
I'm
Set
just
the character or NPC name field to match sheet character name and try again. So you have to make the name at the very, very, very top, which show to players and edit, the same as well.
yeah. I thought I did that right.
Hmm.
I've got show Saul in there, so I'm just gonna roll my gunnery skill.
That's fine. Okay, so you don't take any of them out, but you gain 5 advantage. How do you want to spend that?
Let me check what advantage can be spent on by the book.
Okay.
Advantage.
Let's see.
There's quite a few things that advantage can do.
Force the target ship or vehicle to veer off, breaking any aim or stay on target maneuvers. I can add to a piloting or gunnery check,
Like,
or computers or mechanics
yeah.
for someone else for 2 advantage.
Mm-hmm. So you could
For
give
1
two. You could
advantage.
give 2 boosts to the next person.
Uh-huh.
You could inflict critical hit.
Well, if I hit, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weapon has a critical rating of 3, so I'd need to spend 3 advantage on that,
Yeah.
just for reference.
Hmm.
I could. All right. So I could also give the opponent a setback to their piloting or gunnery for 2.
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah. So a boost to the next character who wants it, and a setback to the enemy.
No, just remind me to put a setback on it.
Yeah.
All right. So Kuga, you're up.
What maneuvers can I do? Those. Let's see. Till the end of next turn. I think. Actually, no. This seems like a good idea for what we're doing. I think I'm gonna do the stay on target maneuver.
Okay. What does that do?
Until the end of the pilot's next turn, all combat checks from the vehicle executing the upgrade their ability die to their. Any combat checks targeting the ship also get an upgrade.
That means it's easier for them to hit us as well.
So in D&D terms, that's reckless attack.
Yes.
You get advantage, but they get advantage.
Yes.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So duly noted. You want to do anything else?
Let's see.
You get 2 maneuvers, or a maneuver and an action.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm looking at the actions right now.
All right.
Doesn't seem to. Might just take another maneuver.
All right.
Actually,
There's always one of the actions you could take is gain the advantage.
yeah, that's what I was looking at. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. What's gain the advantage to?
To execute this action, the pilot makes a piloting check. The difficulty is determined the relative speeds of the ships involved. Our speed is currently at... Oh, actually, we can't because I have to go a speed above what we are.
What do you mean?
You could speed up.
Yeah, I believe I'm gonna take the accelerate.
Okay.
So we go from a speed of 3 to a speed of 4.
And does that do anything? Like, is there a check involved, or you just do that?
No, it's just the pilot increase or decrease the current speed by 1 to a minimum of 0. Maximum,
Okay.
the maximum shield.
So
that's my 2 maneuvers.
Okay. So you didn't tell Brooke to do anything, so she's gonna sit waiting. So anyone can go.
If Lynn wants to try to mitigate the damage we took.
I was gonna say I could either mitigate damage or try to like jam their Hurricane computers, but
Oh wait, damage control is apparent. Oh no, it is for
No.
hull trauma as well. Okay.
Yep.
What's this thing's hull trauma? What's our ship's hull trauma threshold?
Our threshold is 20, and we're currently at 4.
Yeah. So it would be an easy mechanics check to do damage control.
And you would get that boost from show. Easy check is just
I'll
one
go ahead
purple,
and-
right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna upgrade that with a destiny point. Go ahead and roll that.
Did you add in the
Yep, already did.
or wait, the bonus?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's mechanics.
Yep.
Yep.
Pow! Nice!
Nice.
3 successes, 3 advantage. So that's 3 points of healing, I think? Is that right?
Yeah. That is. Let me.
So, just while Vader's looking that up, describe the scene for us. You throw
Yeah, so
the
Lynn-
accelerator up, Kuga, and you keep it steady to give Show a shot. Meanwhile, Lynn is like ducking under the floor and like, go ahead.
Yeah. She hops off the console and starts heading toward, whatever seems to be sparking or destabilized, and grabs the nearest, what looks like a spanner tool, and starts tinkering with wires and getting things set back to right.
Nice. There's the ubiquitous sci-fi like tube of steam happening, right? Like, okay,
Yeah, that's the kind of wipe off her visor.
right. What'd you find, Vader?
I'm just seeing. I'm only seeing a successful mechanics check recovers 1 point.
Okay, 3 successes would be 3 points.
Yeah, okay. And repairing hull trauma can only be done once per encounter. You can do system strain multiple times, though.
Cool. What do you want to use your advantage on, Lynn?
I think if it's possible, the systems that she manages to set right will help. I guess steady the ship or make the maneuvers, make it easier to fly. However we want to, whether it's accelerator or follow a target, what have you.
So you want to give a boost to the pilot, is what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
All right. So the Black Sun mercenaries are gonna go. So they get a upgrade or a setback in their difficulty due to Vader's thing. I think that's it. So they're gonna make another straight through. Oh, and another setback because of the aft armor, because you sped up, so they have to shoot you from behind. So that's a thing as well. All right, let's see. Batum! Wow. So you guys don't take any damage. 2 failures and an advantage. So yeah, I think those failures are going to directly translate into boosts for the gunnery check. So that's going to be. Oh, I didn't give them the boost because of stay on target, but that's okay. So you're gonna be shooting with 3 boosts on your next gunnery check. Anyone can go.
Yeah. Make that 4 boosts and then, because I'm gonna aim.
Noted.
Yes.
You want to use another Destiny point and upgrade that even further?
Actually, yeah, make it, and I'll upgrade. I can still use true aim on the gun rate check, so that'll upgrade it, and I'll upgrade it again with the Destiny point. So 4 boosts and 2 upgrades.
4 boosts, 2 upgrade. All right. I don't have any major setbacks here, so yeah, make your shot. Nice.
Wow.
The damage of the gun is 6, so that's 10.
It's 10. How much do these starfighters have? Or interceptors, rather? Not a lot, right?
6.
They've got 6. Okay, so you blast one to bits, and then you damage a second one with that shot. Is this the ray, like, lining up the TIE fighters in the laser and then blasting all of them? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, probably, like, she waits for them to, like, pass over each other, and she one clean shot.
Totally.
One clean burst of laser fire.
All right. Yeah.
And yeah, I think with that advantage, I could notice a single important point in the ongoing conflict, such as a fatal flaw in an enemy's ship course or a weak point. That's what the table says. If there's nothing really applicable, I'll just pass my turn.
I was gonna say there's nothing really applicable, unfortunately, because these are just like mooks that are here to like give you guys something to shoot. Really, you already know they're Black Sun. You already know they're here for show. Fatal flaw. It's just the one guy in each ship. So if you just like fuck up his hyperdrive and jump, he's probably just gonna die out in space.
Yeah.
That's what I got. Anyone can go.
I think now we're gonna...
Sorry, I think it's Kuga specifically. Sorry.
Yeah, so now we're gonna do the gaining the advantage.
All right.
So to execute this, pilot makes a piloting check. The difficulty is determined by relative speeds. So we're currently at a speed of 4. What are they at?
They were at 3.
Okay. So we are speed 1 higher than them, so it's only going to be 1 difficulty.
Okay. You have a boost from Vader if you want it.
Yeah, let's take it.
And I'm gonna upgrade the check to a red because I've got the point. I might as well spend it. So go ahead and roll it. Okay. So 2 successes, 4 advantage. What does that accomplish for you, and what does that give you? What does it look like?
If the check succeeds, the pilot ignores all penalties imposed by his until the end of the follow.
Your mic is dying, picking up about every second word.
Let me try reconnecting then.
Okay.
Pilot ignores all penalties imposed by his own and his opponent's use of invasive maneuvers until the end of the following round. In addition, the pilot also chooses which defense zone he hits with his attack. If he fails his check, he fails to gain the advantage.
There you go, Cookie. Welcome back.
Is this bet?
No. You said, is this bet? And then it cut out.
Weird.
We were probably firing on their 4 because they were behind us, so they would have had a point of defense there, but...
I mean, you did a shit ton of damage. It's fine.
Yeah, so now we're firing... I guess we can fire... We probably, like, hit the brakes so they overtake us and we have a clear shot at their back.
Totally. You guys still didn't tell Brooke to do anything, so she's gonna pass. Anyone can go.
If it's alright with you, I think Show's gonna take the shot.
Do it.
Go for it.
Totally.
So... Let's see. How do you want to spend that advantage, Kuga?
to give a boost die to the gunnery check.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so-
I'll true aim, which will give another boost and an upgrade.
All right, there you go. And I'm lowering the difficulty by 1 because of your like hard brake maneuver, and now they're just like right in your crosshair. Do it.
Yeah. I think show. Oh wait, I'll roll the dice first. Let's
Yeah,
see what we get.
roll the dice before you describe it. Okay, so 2 successes plus 6, it's 8. So
Yeah.
that's another
And
one.
that's a crit.
Yes, it is.
There's a table for this.
I got it. 70, exactly.
For a ship, that is a navicomputer failure.
Okay,
But
so,
I think he's blown to bits anyways, right?
yeah, he's blown to bits, but you can navicomputer the other guy. So like you blow up
Yeah.
that ship, and the debris like knocks the antenna off the last guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you
Yeah.
were saying,
So, the last guy can't flee now. He can't jump to hyperspace.
right? But you
No,
were gonna say,
I thought that was the last guy. Oh wait.
no. You
No,
blew
you
up the
said
first
there
guy,
were
damaged
3.
the second guy, then you just blew up the second guy and knocked the third guy's navcomputer out.
Yeah. I forgot there were 3, not 2.
No worries. But you were
That
gonna
is
say
the
something
last
about
guy, isn't
show.
it?
You were gonna say something about show before the roll.
No, it was pertaining to if I shot down the last guy. So.
Okay, gotcha. So the last guy's gonna go. He can't flee to hyperspace at least. He's gonna have a lot of difficulty on this check. But let's see. Doesn't have any upgrades. He's down to his last guy. He's gonna make a desperate shot. See if he can do something. The answer is no. That is 2 despairs. Okay, so I think first of all, ouch. I think what happens is you see the debris hit it, knock the antenna loose. The antenna flies back into the thruster manifold, and just the ship explodes. So, you did it. Good job, Mandos.
Who said I'm fleeing from you?
Nice. So yeah, anybody who wants to have a scene can have a scene. Like we wipe away from the battle into whatever you guys want to do. Like it's your show. What stories do you want to tell, Mandos?
I think Sho climbs her way out of the gunnery seat. Just like heads towards the cockpit.
Okay.
I think Lynn's gonna crawl out from the repair hole in the ship and repair walkway and start following Sho and kind of ask casually, so how many people are after you?
Short answer, a lot.
Doesn't seem very short to me.
So I think like as you come in, Brooke is saying to Kuga, like finishing a thought. She says like, "I knew you were scary, but," and then the door opens and Sho and Lynn pop in. And she's like, "I'm not sure if that was amazing or terrifying."
Depends on which side of the crosshairs you're on.
Both?
No, they weren't terrified for long.
I'm not talking about them.
Brooke, you've got the best pilot in the Covert on your side. You don't need to worry.
I wasn't worried. Much?
If it were Arcos on that gun, I thought they would have even got a shot in.
Is that going to happen a lot?
Hopefully not.
Why
It's not
don't I
they're
like
gonna
that
report.
answer?
With the infamous Soche Shawl on our ship, we may never know.
About that, What's that symbol?
Black Sun. Criminal syndicate.
I can't
Caitlin's just
imagine
kind
why a
of
criminal
knowing
syndicate
this.
could possibly be after you.
Low life compared to the rest that are after me.
She gives Kuga an accusatory look like somehow it's Kuga's fault.
It's entirely the body language of, what did I do?
Honestly, I assumed if I sat in the ship and did the communications thing that it wouldn't be terribly exciting, and I could get away from the covert and make myself useful, and I didn't expect immediate shooting.
And you think I did?
Yes? That's what you do, isn't it?
Not all the time.
So this is atypical.
Yes.
Then doesn't show us an explanation.
Looks back toward Show.
Big Rhodian galaxy eyes turn toward Show.
As much as I'd like to explain to you, I can't. There are some things that I must still keep secret for now.
Odd. Looks back at Kuga like, I'm not the only one confused by that, right? Like, and it's funny because Brooke is the only one who can emote. Like,
Yeah. I think it's just turn back into piloting position. This is the way.
what? Who are we going to tell precisely? Also, as you jump to hyperspace, if a Star Destroyer is going to punch in front of us, I'd like to know.
Well, probably not a Star Destroyer.
Probably.
More likely a Nebula frigate.
Am I the only one who doesn't know?
If you were the only
Oh,
one, it
I
wouldn't be
don't
much of
know.
a secret, would it?
I could put a bucket on my head if it would help. I'm not much for fighting. Might drag your reputation down.
I'll
Well,
explain in due time.
By the way, does this make me a founder? No, the other one.
You mean a foundling?
Yes. Does this, like, gestures around the cockpit, make me one of those?
Were you trained in combat since a young age?
No.
Have you taken an oath?
Sort of.
I'm pretty sure swearing under one's breath as you get shot at doesn't count as an oath.
No, I took an oath to keep your lot secret and help the people in the covert. That sort of thing. I don't think I took your warrior priest oath thing. I didn't swear on a sword or anything.
from what I understand, a foundling is very specific designation. I think Kuga could tell you better than I.
Earnest Rhodian face turned to Kuga.
Foundling are how we keep the teachings of Mandalore continued.
So
If
I'm
not through-
just an eighth then.
For now.
I don't really have any desire to be a warrior priest, so that's fine with me. Don't much care for being shot at. Or blown up. Blown into space.
Well, you kind of chose the wrong crew to be with then.
I understand what I'm getting myself into. I just assume at some point in the relatively near future, I'll have some thick durasteel walls between me and the actual fighting, and I can serve as an oracle of sorts.
Mm-hmm. That's...
I understand it can't be helped, but at the same time, I trust that it's understood that if you hand me a blaster, I'm going to look at you funny.
Oh, we get that, yeah.
So, circling back, who precisely is after you?
Let's see. There's Black Sun, of course. Certain mobs in the Imperial Remnant. Death Watch.
Death who? That one I'm not familiar with.
Vicious offshoots of the Mandalorian way. We don't want to cross them.
So, you all, but the bad guys.
In a way.
Given what I know that you're capable of, that's terrifying. What's next, the First Order?
Hesitant look to the side.
Again, accusatory Rhodian face directed at Kuga.
Okay. I can help who I get into trouble with, but I can't help who she gets in trouble with.
And Lynn just kind of mutters, and people were concerned about me having warrants out from the Alliance.
And the... Is anyone wanted by the cartels?
Looks back towards the medical bay.
Of course.
Do we know that?
Sho can probably put that together. It's fine. Right. Easier question. Does anyone like you bucketheads?
Ourselves?
Helpful.
Well, all the people we help.
I meant anyone with, you know, credits, influence, supplies.
None that can help us in the immediate.
In fairness, we did ask if you were sure you wanted to come along.
Honestly, it's better than Malhata. So yes, but also... Ugh! At least I'm safe with you lot. Mostly. Everyone might hate you, but you'll... I've seen every mission you've gone on. I've seen what you're capable of doing. can't help but think I'm in good hands for the most part. I just am a bit surprised at the degree of... Why does everyone hate you? Like, looking between the three of you.
I threw in their enemy's lot.
And it is also the way of the universe. Those in power either fear or desire that which they cannot control.
Speaking of control, you said something that upset the armorer, like pointing at Sho, and I don't entirely understand what you said.
Did I upset him particularly? I don't remember.
You probably didn't notice it, but she's monitoring, like, your all's tech and stuff.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
You said something about... I don't know what, and... He's inflammable most of the time, but whatever you said frightened him. Something about a word that you shouldn't know?
Yes. Ancient history.
Aren't we going somewhere full of ancient history?
I doubt there are Jedi on Duxon.
Do they have a taste for Mandalorians? Are they people?
This is information that's been lost to time. The Jedi were an order of... I don't have any way to describe it other than they wielded magic.
Warrior priest would be a good word, but yeah.
Yeah, warrior priests.
So, like you lot then?
I've never lifted an X-Wing with my mind.
What? So these priests are angry with you too, then?
They're dead.
Are you sure?
As far as anyone knows.
3 years ago, I thought the Mandalorians were dead. Aside from... No, he died too. I was going to say aside from the Emperor's pet, but he died on that desert backwater area in hut space. I assumed he was the last one. Imagine my surprise. Like, gestures around the cockpit.
Well,
It's not impossible they've been in hiding, but...
There's a reason we call them coverts. The Mandalorians have been preserving our culture in relative secrecy for generations.
And these Jedi can't do that.
Well, had you heard of them before?
The Jedi aren't inherently enemies of Mandalore, though we have fought against them many times in history.
Alright then. So, Jedi, jungle monsters, every faction in the galaxy. It still sounds better than a Hutt collar, that's for sure.
One way to look at it, I suppose.
I don't have a lot of options.
Well, things wouldn't have been very exciting at the Covert with us gone, now would they?
Suppose not. So, Captain, what's our destination?
Onderon.
Supplies, then.
You could say that.
You want me to go out first and take a look around?
What, in the jungle?
No, in the port. I don't have a bucket on my head.
Are we stopping in Ices, Kuga?
What's there that we would need?
You're the one who said we were going to Onderon. The only thing on Onderon is the port.
Suppose you're right.
What's there that we could need? At a guess? Bullets? Does your rifle even shoot bullets?
You were privy to the conversation.
Let me
We're not
rephrase the
going
question. Can it shoot bullets?
It's not a slug thrower, no.
So, blaster packs then.
We're not going directly to Onderon.
Where are we going?
One of its moons. Duxon.
I know that. I mean, where are we going right now? Are we going straight to Duxon? Do we have enough fuel? Like, looking at Kuga again.
It's not like it's right next to Onderon. Their orbit is incredibly close.
Yes, I understand that. What I mean is, we're not stopping anywhere along the way.
We will probably need to refuel at least once before Onderon.
And I could go for a burger, personally. Do you eat? Like, looking at the three of you. I don't think I've ever seen any of you eat. Did you pack food? Is there food in the... Oh dear, is there food in the ship? Kuga?
Yes, there are at least 6 months worth of food in the ship.
So you do eat? How does that work
What?
with your...
We take them off.
What, like in your private rooms?
Yeah.
Usually.
What do you do if you get hungry on... like a planet, far away?
Most of the time you don't worry about it.
Don't what?
We are trained warriors, remember?
Can I put out a standing request then?
What is it?
We get the covert set up, and every time one of you goes out on a mission, you bring back food. For me. You go out and blow up a casino, bring back sandwiches and chips. You go hunt a dangerous creature, bring back a roast chicken, etc.
Tell you what, Brooke. After we figure out Duxon, find the refinery, and set up a covert, you can help us make the rules.
I don't know anything anything about your philosophy. I
never said you had to.
What? I'm just thinking that...
There are plenty of different variations of the way.
Well, what's your variation then?
Lynn kind of looks intently at Kuga.
I was gonna say, I think that's like, yeah, like intense silence, and then we like wipe to a different scene, right? Like,
Yeah.
so does anybody want any more ship scenes, or do we want to like stop at like a rest area or something? Like, what do you guys want to do? Because I got plenty of stuff for you guys to do on Duxon, but I don't want to jump straight there necessarily.
Right.
I think that's it for ship scenes for now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can stop at a refuel.
So yeah, so we see like the Leviathan like come down on like the like circular like vehicle pad area thing like we saw in the dock of Tatooine on the Mandalorian, but instead of like Tatooine, it's like, I like the idea that it's like on a rock. It's a huge river, and then there's a rock at the lip of a big waterfall going down into a basin, and on that rock is like a spaceport, like a whole spaceport. So like if somebody took like Niagara Falls, maximized it, and then put a city on part of it, like around the flowing river, I think that's very Star Wars. So like you guys like land there, we get like the bottom of the screen, it says like, I don't even know how I would describe that. I could bring up a Star Wars planet name generator, I guess, but like we get like the Star Wars text of like what the planet is, and then yeah, like we see the three of you like coming out of the spaceship. I think Brooke is staying in the spaceship, and you're immediately greeted by a protocol droid. Who... Is it reasonable that a protocol droid would know Mandalorian, Vader?
Depending on the protocol droid.
So yeah, I think it like greets the three of you in like Mandalorian, and
Mandola
then
is the name of the language.
sorry,
Mandola is the name of the
Mandala.
language.
Okay, it greets you in Mandala, and then like in Mandala it says like, "Are you familiar with Galactic Basic?" Mandola, thank you.
I think Sho just says in basic, yes, there's no need to make a scene of it.
It says, oh, very well. I am L4RZ. Transitory humanoid relations. What can we help you with today?
Looks at Kuga.
We're here to resupply on fuel.
Of course, just a moment. Like, turns, like, gestures, and the little, like, pit droids start running over with a hose. I presume standard galactic credits will be transferred.
Yes.
You have any credits?
Ain't that the question?
I've got like 450 left over.
I've got some leftover credits too.
How much is it to refuel a starship?
Good question.
Right? Will you be including repairs in your refuel?
We can handle repairs ourselves.
For a full refueling, price will come to calculating noises. 1,200 galactic credits.
Yeah, I've got 450 left too.
Still not enough to cover it.
No.
Seems we'll need to find a job.
Transitory odd jobs can be located at the Rainfall Diner. Just that way, like points.
Show just immediately starts walking past.
Okay. Like, bump into the protocol droid. I'd say.
Apologies for our friend. She can be, well,
Decisive?
a bit decisive is the word.
I think Lynn is gonna trail after her just to make sure.
Yeah, so you guys
happens.
find like a diner in this like circular ring of so it's just like a Star Wars Greasy Spoon diner, like where Obi-Wan did his noir thing. It's got a beautiful like overlook of the like river basin on the other side of the falls. It doesn't open into like a jungle. It's like it's like the river just keeps going. It's like Vader, you remember that like waterfall tributary area on Jedi Fallen Order on like the second planet? With the big pistons in the mountain?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's just like rocks and river as far as you can see, but it's a basin. And you come into the diner, and there's like a Wookiee concierge, because that's funny. Do you like wait to be shown a table, or do you just like push past the Wookiee?
Pushing past a Wookiee is a bad idea.
Correct.
Very bad idea.
So you like go in, and there's like a notice board like in the like you're free to come and go area before said Wookiee concierge, like where the like if you go to like Pizza Hut in the 90s, where they would keep like the arcade cabinets, like over there's like a notice board here. If you understand that metaphor.
Yeah.
Yep.
It of course it's electronic and it like auto scrolls. There is a shit ton of odd jobs. If you want to choose one at random, you can. If you want to look through them, you can. Up to you.
I'd say we look through just for the sake of not drawing too much attention by taking the wrong job.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's everything from a lost child to a fishing tournament to various supply requisitions to like again missing people, wanted people. One thing that definitely catches your eye is apparently there is like the spaceport extends underwater, and apparently down there somewhere somebody has heard reports of some kind of large aqueous monster, and they want someone to investigate it. There's all kinds of stuff. Like, what draws your attention?
Well, the first thing that caught my attention was the lost child.
Okay.
Since that's kind of a thing for the Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm. The reward for the lost child is 200 credits and a home-cooked meal.
much is the reward for the monster hunting?
If you have information of it, you get some, and if you just straight up like bring the dead monster, it's 1,500 credits.
That would cover the fuel and then some.
The monster might not exist.
If we find it, that is.
True, but it's only reports of a monster, so no one said we had to find the monster.
True.
You know what the Jedi always say, Sho? There's always a bigger fish.
So it could be very easy or very dangerous.
Sounds right up our alley.
So, what's it gonna be? Monster
I'm
Hunt?
guessing we don't want it I'm guessing we don't want it disintegrated.
They want evidence of it.
They probably want to eat it, all things considered.
Alright.
Either of you fancy a swim?
Oh. I guess.
I've swum through worse.
So, to meet the guy about the monster hunt, you want to go, you want to go down into the underwater section of the port, which is enclosed. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to like swim to go down there, and you want to find Dockmaster Eivor. Avorrr, Dockmaster Eivor.
So I guess we head toward the docks.
Sounds like a plan.
So yeah, we diagonal wipe to like the Mandos stepping into. So imagine a pool of water, like an industrial like tank opening full of water, right? Like the white PVC style border around it, and coming up out of the middle of it is a glass tube that is effectively like a Jetson style or even a Futurama style like tube lift. You get in that like you're going on a water slide, and you like cross your arms, and it shunts you down like to the lower level and back up respectively. So we see like you getting in that and going down, and you go down you go down a Star Wars long way. We see like the lights from your helmet come on because it is dark, like dark black swirling water all around you, and below you there's this like multiple like bubble building style like Subnautica base. And naturally, down here, there's a shitload of, like, Mon Cala and those squid guys that are also from Mon Cala, who I don't really know the name of their race, and, like, all kinds of, like, aqueous humanoids, but also, like, there's a bunch of trade down here, and, like, some, like, the ships that can take it dock down here because there's more space, etc., etc. But you cannot see anything outside the lights of this base. And down here, what strikes you immediately is the top part is like a rest area on the side of the road. Down here is like that big Japanese fish market, the way it's laid out. So there's like, you know, produce of various forms coming and going through here, like basically going from one underwater vehicle to another underwater vehicle, and then elsewhere to another spaceport or whatever. It's a big like trading hub. And you guys are, like, jostled around immediately, because they don't give a shit about landwalkers down here. But you see, like, various giant fish being, like, auctioned off, and various like tanks and pallets full of sea things, like more pearls than you've ever seen in your life, etc., all down here. And eventually you find Dockmaster Eivor, who is, of course, Moncala. And then we get the scene of the three of you talking to him. And he says, we get audio in the scene when he says, we weren't expecting a specialist, much less three of them.
We happen to be in the area.
Can't promise you a good hunt. It's some folks coming and going, and the transport said they'd seen something moving in the water. Of course there's things moving in the water. It's a giant river. And they said this was bigger than any of our fauna on record. I thought maybe it's a trick of the light, or a ship that coming in. Whenever we get some big ships coming in from time to time, you know, Lucre Hulks and the like. But well, if something is out there, and I'm not saying there is, there's some people who would breathe a bit easier if it was taken care of. We can outfit all three of you with pods if you want them.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have much in the way of heavy weaponry, so you'll have to improvise.
We're used to that.
You have no idea what he means when he says pods.
You said we'd be equipped with pods. What are those?
Personal transport vehicles. We use them to patrol around the base. They're not the fastest or most well-armed, but we have them to spare. We can outfit you with those if you like. And he like brings up a little hologram of, imagine a sphere, like just a straight up sphere with like 3 or 4 engines on the back of it, so it looks kind of like a cuttlefish, and that's all it is.
Well, if there is something out there, best to have a little bit more maneuverability.
Mm-hmm.
And where were these reports exactly?
He just gestures out like a big like bank of windows out there in the dock, just along one of the trade routes. We can put the map in the pods.
Is it very far out?
Not for us. I'd say for you, a couple of hours. It could be right outside that wall, for all that any of us know, and for all the good that it will do you. We're not equipped to help you.
Oh, I was just thinking in terms of fuel capacity for these pods.
Oh, the pod, no, they're current powered. As long as you're in the moving water, they'll hold a charge. Don't worry about that.
Well,
Water turbines for the win.
no sense in standing around here longer than we have to.
Yeah, totally. So you're led to like the docking area. You have to go through an airlock to this like moon pool area with the dark water like right up against the inside of this room, and in it are floating various ships. We see the like Stingray looking ship from Naboo with the circular rotor on the back. We see like a ship that looks like a lobster. It doesn't seem to have a top on it. It's just like a metal lobster. And then we see like dozens of these like white barcoded spherical pods. And Dockmaster Eivor like leads you over to some of these. And if you just want to get in and go, like we'll get the shot of you guys like climbing vertically down into them. You got just enough room to like get into a seat. These are cramped. And then the hatch seals and you're just dunked down. into the dark water, and yeah, you're just like, welcome to Subnautica, basically. Hi guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
All right, so yeah, pull up the map and get
Yeah,
going.
it's so you get this little like topographic sonar map of the area, and your destination seems to be like through a canyon along the river floor, and like immediately you're hearing all of these like aqueous creature sounds all around you. The pods are helpfully outfitted with like local fauna things, and like 90% of them you don't need to worry about. But among the things that these people do know is out here in this water, there are a couple of Leviathan class creatures out here, including the ubiquitous giant crab and tentacle beast.
Fun.
Yeah.
All we have to do is blend in. That's another one of our specialties.
You're each in your own pod, by the way.
I assume we've still got comms with each other.
Yeah,
though.
totally. I'm just saying, like, you're in your own little vehicles. So yeah, you guys are little fish in a big pond. What would you like to do? I imagine there's a big, like... Are you guys all familiar with the Pokemon Tentacruel?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine one of those, like, 2 stories tall, just, like, walking along the river bottom, which is a mix of sand and rock, by the way. There's a little school of them. You have to, like, navigate your pods around their legs, but they don't seem to notice you. If you guys want, a visual reference, of what I'm basing your little thingamus on, I'm gonna link a thing backstage for you. This is what inspired the pod that you're in. So you guys have a little bit of a visual ref. So have fun.
Oh.
So, what would you like to do?
Well, this seems straightforward. We should just do a simple scanning pattern. One of us can take port, one starboard, and the other fore and aft.
Sounds simple enough.
Oh goodness, I'm tired.
So, are you guys like staying clustered together? Are you spreading out? Like, what are you doing?
I'd say we should probably stick relatively close together in the center, so we're not too close to the bottom dwellers. And
You want to stay in the center of the water column? There's also the current to deal with. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
The center of the water column, to be clear, is massive. It is just dark down here. That's how far down you are. So the lights on your pods only really give you about like 100 feet in any direction of light, as just swirling water otherwise. So if you want to stay in the middle of the water column, that's fine, but it's bleak.
Not gonna see much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not going to see much, but you're also going to see a lot. Most of the ships stay to the bottom.
Well, if that's where most of the ships are, then that's where they would have seen the monsters. So sticking to the trade routes best as possible seems the play.
Send your pods down, and you're traveling for a while. And I think one of you. Let me see which one. Yeah, okay, we indicate the passage of time, and then Lynn, you can react however you want, but the others do not have a direct visual when this, like... It's a shark, but imagine a shark built like a leech. It's got a big sucker on the front full of teeth, and then it's got like a streamlined body, like a shark tail, as it just like swims around doing its business, and then just right in your pod, and your whole pod like jostles. What do the others hear over your comm?
I found a lot of teeth, and it's attached to something big.
Sounds like it likes you then.
I'd prefer if it didn't go straight to dinner.
Is this our target?
I have no idea. All I see are teeth.
It's smaller than the pod. It's smaller than your window.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess I mis-explained that. It's not a giant thing eating your pod. It's Squid Shark suddenly appears, boonk, into your viewfinder.
Oh, I seem to have acquired a hood ornament.
There we go. I say Squid Shark. What I meant to say was Leech Shark. Anyway.
No, you said leech shark. I was just thinking of a giant leech.
No, well, I mean, it's bigger than Lynn is, but it's smaller than the pod. Probably about the size of like a tiger shark, basically.
Is it affecting the movement of the pod in any way?
I mean, it's pushing against it, but no, not really. You could also just like activate what little defense the pod has is like an electro charge field that can just discharge and throw most things off. And maybe that's how we see that the pods have that, is Lynn activates it, just zaps the thing. It doesn't kill it, it just makes it let go and swim away.
Yeah, so I pulled a Z.
Basically, yeah. And then you guys like continue on through this dark riverbed. And again, to be clear, there's like giant stuff swimming like just out of sight all around you, but again, everything, like all the silhouettes that you see, you can reference in the database and be like, that's awful, but we know what that is. And then you come to a canyon. You come to a canyon with a big rock face rising out of the water in front of you. Or I guess not out of the water, rising in the water in front of you. And then, yeah, the ships are like going in this little, like, crack in it, basically. Less of a canyon, more of a cave, I guess.
The ubiquitous cavean.
Yeah, right. You could go over.
Well, I guess if I were a giant sea creature that didn't get seen often, a cave might be a place to look.
Swim through the trench, not over it.
Did you just quote Atlantis at me?
No, I quoted Finding Nemo.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Hell yeah.
So you guys want to go into the trench? Who's going in first? You have to go single file here.
I think Kuga will take the head.
Okay, so Kuga, you start towards it, and this like huge like moray eel that's like the size of a subway train like swims laterally above your pod's head and ducks into a hole higher up.
Well, this isn't how I expected today to go, but here we are.
So, I don't know if we ever worked this out. How are we gonna fight this thing underwater like this?
You know, we probably should have come up with an idea for that, shouldn't we?
Well, I figured we could just stick our heads out of the pods and blast it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, Lynn. You'll be the first one to do it.
Well, I mean, it worked okay at the casino.
Do these things have rebreathers in them?
Yes, but they're probably covered in dust.
So Lynn's probably like searching for the supplies, finds the rebreather. Does that is that just like cleaning it off, cleaning it out, or is
Yeah,
it...
what I'm saying is you're not sure how long it's been since it's been serviced. So it might behoove you to check, all of you, to check and make sure the rebreathers work, because most of these are staffed by aqueous humanoids that can breathe underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is there a role we need to do to check
Yes, there is. The problem is I don't have the skill list memorized, so give me just a minute.
Would probably be mechanics.
That sounds right. Let me... For some reason, I can't edit Kuga's sheet. So yeah, let's make it a mechanics roll. Just flat. Well, not flat. I'm gonna put one difficulty die on this, and just see what you guys get with your mechanics.
All right.
Cool. Yep. All three of your rebreathers work. That being said, Show, you got a threat on yours, which means I think, like, they all work, but yours, like, there is a potential fault in it that you recognize, but it's a little bit late to get it switched out.
Uh-huh.
So maybe, like, yours is a little bit more fragile than the other two. So if you take a big hit to your mouth, it might break. Maybe, like, the chassis of yours is cracked. Right?
Yeah.
Are there any ports inside the pods to, like, stick weapons out of or anything like that?
No. However, Kuga and Lynn, you have some advantage that you need to spend. What do you wanna use that on?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm assuming these things aren't equipped with much in terms of sensors or anything like that.
With sensors, they actually are. They've got pretty finely equipped sensors, actually, because they're used to find, like, spilled cargo, wreckage, personal items that are fallen into the river. They've got pretty decent, like, fine bandwidth scanners. What they lack is macro scanners and armament. Like, their scanners can go down to, like, a couple grains of sand in width, which is pretty damn good, but they can't... You can only widen it so far, about the size of the pod itself.
I'd say maybe there's a way to coax a little bit more maneuverability out of the system so that when we find it, we can get into position better.
You want to modify the pod? That's what I'm hearing?
Yeah, just either tinker with the mechanics or the
So while you're
system a little
waiting
bit.
to go in the canyon, you want to, like, see if you can get into the systems of this thing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to turn that 2 advantage you have there, Lan, into a boost. And I want you to make that mechanics check again. Now might be a good time to spend one of those light side points if you want to.
Yes. Go ahead and add that.
Cool. There you go. Show me what you got. 3 successes, 2 advantage. Okay. So what that will be is like you can like tinker with the electronics and the construction of the pod to like basically turn it into a roadster of pods. So yours will just be that little bit more maneuverable. What that will translate to is if you need to like move your pod very finely or quickly in a specific series of directions, you'll get an upgrade on that.
Sounds good.
So you can totally tinker with that. You do still have 2 more advantage to spend, and Kugo, I want to know how you're spending your advantage.
I think in a similar vein to Lynn, tinkering around within the pod to maybe increase the range of that little electromagnetic charge, or the electro field.
Okay. You don't have enough for a boost for that, but I will make the difficulty a little bit easier.
Could I give my
Yes.
advantage to him, say pass it on as, hey, I figured out how to tinker with this thing.
Here's the schematics
some
I've been working
pointers."
with. Yeah, totally. Totally. In fact, I will give you an upgrade on that roll with that, Kuga. So go ahead and make that mechanics check. Wow. Okay, 2 successes and a triumph. So, yeah, you can absolutely increase the range of that electro thing. And with the triumph, I think you could direct it. You could turn it from a field into a beam.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So you have effectively lightning bolt on your thing. That being said, you give up the field to do it. Like it's one or the other.
That's fine.
Cool. It has a range of about the same as your light, so about 100 feet.
Okay.
Now, you got a triumph, but I need to specify something.
Yep.
Blasting that will drain the capacitors, and it will need time to recharge.
I mean, that's fair.
And this isn't like Thor, the god of thunder, coming down and blowing the shit out of like Sutralings. This is this is like a taser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something.
Or do you need to?
Something to like try and immobilize it for a moment to get us situated.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. So great. So you guys, like, it's your turn to go into the passage. So Kuga, you go first. You slip in, and it's not a super tight squeeze because this is a trade route for bigger ships, but at the same time, you're like, okay, something big is probably not down here. Nevertheless, you get the sound of rock grinding on rock. You hear, like, big things moving all around you. We get the, like, close quarter shots of all of you moving through this. And then right in the middle of the rock area, it opens up into this, like, it's a chamber of a cave. It's a big chamber of a cave. You can't see the walls when it opens up. You know you're still in the cave. You know there's a ceiling above your head. You're not in open river, but it's this big, like, chamber, probably the size of, like, 2 or 3, like, Olympic stadiums put together. Like, it's a big chamber. And all 3 of you get a light on your console, and, like, the helpful, like, you have arrived at your destination.
Well, let's start searching.
They say it's in here somewhere.
Just like start scanning the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you fan out or do you stay together?
I think if it's that big, we're gonna have to fan out.
Yeah.
How close together do you stay? Because this is going to be real fun if you separate.
Well, probably within comm range.
I mean, your comms go for miles. Like, you guys can be in contact with Brooke. Like...
Yeah. Maybe within the range of the light.
Yeah,
So 100
I'd say
feet?
100 feet then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's, is there like a search roll by any chance?
Perception.
Probably perception.
Perception? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this and one of these, but you guys have a topographic scanner. You're staying together in the light. I'm going to give you 2 upgrades for this. Why don't all 3 of you roll perception and see what you see? Wow, okay. So, Show, really good roll. Kuga, perceptive as hell. Lynn, at least you didn't make it where, like, you got a success, that's good. Got an advantage, that's good. But, like, compared to the others, a little bit of a weaker showing, and that's okay. So the first thing I want to resolve is that threat.
Yeah.
Kuga,
Hello.
4 successes and 2 threat. Is it fair to say that you slip a little bit further away from the other 2 and they don't notice with that?
Probably.
Because
like,
something catches your attention. We'll talk about what that is in just a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Show. Let's resolve that triumph. So 2 successes and a triumph that counts as a success and, like, a critical success. So I think with that, I think you find something interesting, but it's not the beastie, right? I think you find, like, because you guys go away from the trade route, you're, like, fanning out in this big under cave stadium thing. I think you find wreckage of something that catches your eye. And I think, because it's a triumph, it has to be interesting, it has to be something that you want to investigate. I think it's a Jedi Starfighter.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's a Jedi Starfighter.
This is...
And Lynn, with your success and your advantage, I think you're keeping an eye on the trade route so that you don't wander too far. You're taking a very safe arc, and that's good. You see like several things out here in this cave chamber, but you don't see as much as the other 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kuga.
Hi.
What you find with 4 successes and 2 threat, the thing that edges you away from the others is you find a passage down. You find a sediment-covered hole that leads lower, and it's big. Like, you went just the right way that your topographic map, like, showed this drop, and it's like a couple 100 feet across, like a big hole in the ground. And you just subconsciously start going into it, like, not realizing that the others aren't following you.
Yeah.
So, we cut over to Show. Do you tell the others what you found, Show?
Yeah. There's a crashed starship here. It's Clone Wars tech. Jedi. And I think she moves closer to it so the lights get a better view of it.
Yeah, totally. We see from the perspective of the Jedi Starfighter, we see this, like, lump of metal in the ground, in the sandy, rocky ground, and we see the, like, sea moth floodlights down on it as you're getting closer, and just, like, the darkness. We see the big, like, is it the Jedi symbol, or is it the symbol of the Old Republic? The, like, upside down crescent. What is that?
I'd have to check.
Well, regardless, we see that emblazoned on the wing. Yeah, it's an old, rusted out Jedi Starfighter, but it's a Jedi Starfighter. They can travel underwater, right? I think we've seen that happen. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, anything can travel underwater if it's thrown far enough.
Heyo, yeah. No, I'm pretty sure we've seen Jedi just like just keep going down into the water in their starfighter. I'm pretty sure we have, and if not, this one's been modified. So job done.
Makes sense.
So yeah,
Nothing nearly as
you
interesting
both
up here.
you both hear that, but I think with your 2 threat, Kuga, I think like you can't reply, like your reply gets cut out. Like we hear Sho be like, Clone Wars tech, it's a Jedi ship, and then Kuga's like,
Jedi starfight.
No, it's like Jedi starfighter, like investigate that. I found like follow me after I found a way down, right? Like maybe you like report that.
That's that's the symbol of the Republic in Odeon chat.
Okay, but
The triumph symbol is the Jedi Order.
okay. Neither of those is what I meant. I meant the one that looks kind of like the advantage symbol, but it's like a circle with an upside down crescent in it. I thought that was the... Because what you linked is the Imperial symbol.
No. Wait. No, that's the Galactic Republic. The Empire is a hexagon, not a circle.
Regardless. Kuga, I think you like radio, like I found a way down, follow me after, but the other two don't hear it, right?
Yeah.
So Lynn, what do you do?
Oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
I think. Well, I think I signaled to Sho. Do you need any assistance there?
Do you need any assistance?
I mean, no.
Okay. Do you want to do anything with the starfighter?
I mean, yeah, I'm investigating it.
Okay. In the pod or out of the pod?
What I want to see what I can see in the pod before I put on the rebreather and get out of it.
It is a. It appears to be lodged in the sand and the murk. It's been here for a while. Most of the paint has washed off because the river is moving. It's like gray and like rusty red. It does have the symbol of the Jedi Order on the wing. It seems to be mostly intact. You can't tell from the way that it's buried why it crashed precisely, but it's been here for a long time. It's also like tucked away behind some rock, so it could easily be missed by traders just wanting to get through here.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming like the cockpit is the cockpit window is like muddied up. I can't see inside.
Correct. There's not any light down here anyway, like aside from the floodlights on your pod.
So yeah, just positioning the floodlights over it. I'll get out of the pod to investigate.
Put the rebreather under your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Open the pod. Pod floods with water. You swim out. You swim over to it, and we immediately see like how small Sho is compared to all of the stuff in this river. Like we get the fisheye shot of Sho looking really small, and she swims over to the Jedi starfighter, and yeah, like the cockpit seal seems to be like there. Whether or not it was opened and closed again because of the current, you're not sure, but like the cockpit seems to be relatively intact. The electronics are fucked. Like, no doubt in your mind whatsoever that like if you slide the cockpit open and get in there and you try to start this thing, nothing's gonna happen. Like, no doubt in your mind. But it is present. if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a dead R unit in the front.
I think Lynn's going to position her pod so she can kind of just do overwatch to make sure there's nothing nasty. You know, she can at least send out a warning if
Duly
anything's
noted.
coming
What
close.
is the initiative? If you're prepared, roll. What is that?
Cool.
Can you
Yes.
make a cool roll for me? I'm gonna put some modifiers on it. But can you make a cool roll for me, Lynn, just so that I see how much time you have if something happens? Go ahead and make that roll.
All right.
Okay, noted. So you probably don't even notice Shay is out of her pod currently, or Show is out of her pod currently. Sorry about that.
That was with difficulty?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Because we're not technically rolling initiative. I'm just yeah.
Alright.
I'm applying a cool roll. So do you wanna get this thing open?
Like I was trying. Yeah, let's go ahead and try and get this thing open.
Okay. It is rusted closed. Do you have a means to, like, get into it, or do you just want to try to rip it open?
I don't believe I have any sort of tool that would help me here.
I bet you anything Lynn does.
Yeah. So maybe she just like motions to Lynn's pod, like, could use your help.
Lynn, yeah, no response. Lynn doesn't know you're out of your pod. I think you turn around and you only see your pod. Like, you don't see Lynn and you don't see Kuga.
That's worrying.
A bit, yeah.
She can come back to this. She's gonna swim back to her pod and drain it and get on
Close the hatch,
comms.
drain it, pull the rebreather out, get on the comm. Yep.
Lynn, Kuga, where are you?
No response from Kuga. But Lynn, you can respond freely.
Yeah, I'm here keeping point. Sorry, didn't see you out of the pod there.
Where's Kuga?
I haven't
Looking
heard
around,
anything from
checking the
Kuga in a
scanner.
while.
Yeah, Kuga's not on the scanner.
We gotta figure out where he went.
Kuga,
Hi.
fully believing the others are behind you.
Leading the charge as ever.
Yeah, and frankly, you probably heard Show say, like, where's Kuga? And you, like, we probably cut to your pod being like, I just told you, I'm going down in the pit. Like,
They know where I'm going. That's weird.
so we see you in this, like, trench descending downward, and we see, like, cracks in the side of the rock on either side with, like, glowing, like, orange, like, magma in them. And it's not, like, spewing out at you. It's just, like, it shows that it's getting hotter down here. The water, like, your pressure indicator is slowly rising. You're still in the green, but you can see that you're going deeper and deeper and deeper. And you get to the bottom. And again, the trench that you descended is wide unto itself. It's a big, like a ship could easily get through that. You get down to the bottom, and it opens up into this orange-lined volcanic chamber full of, like, blue and green crystals. It's huge. And just as you're about to be like, I'm assuming you're about to be like, we should explore this together, form up on me. We hear this tremendous, like, water-shaking roar and we see this kraken tentacle way above your head, like stories above your head, like swing into view, and that's the last shot of the episode.
I think I found it.
So, this is apparently the way, am I right?
This is in
Our
fact
way,
a
nothing
way.
You guys having fun at least?
Oh yeah.
Great.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
Good. Let's do some shout-outs and wrap the show, shall we? Vader, give us a shout-out, please.
Hello everyone, I am the Journeyman Vader. I am a moderator on Kit's Discord and Twitch, and a streamer on Twitch myself. You can find me over in Kit's Discord on Twitch at twitch.tv/JourneymanVader, or on Twitter at VaderSidious.
Squeaky, give us a shout-out, please.
Hello, I am Sir Squeaky, an active member of Kids Community, both in the channel and on Discord. Always up for conversation of story and the like.
Did you have fun tonight, Squeaky?
Yes, indeed.
Good. Cookie, finish us out, please.
Hey, what up? I'm Cookie, also known as the Extinct Bacon on just about every other platform. I love a lot of things D&D and tabletop, and if you do too, my DMs are always open. Otherwise, you can usually find me lurking in the stream or in the shrine.
For my part, as ever, I am the Sharp-Eyed Kitsune, the teller of tales and the weaver of mysteries, the masked bard. This is the channel that is devoted to lore and storytelling, world-building, role-playing, and discussions of those things. So if that's to your fancy, you're in excellent company here, and I do hope that you enjoyed your time with us. You just watched the second episode of our March into April Dice-Icive Action Open Dice Night event, The Way. We do an Open Dice Night every month with new GMs, new players, and new systems coming to the forefront. It's something that I'm incredibly passionate about bringing to you, and I hope you guys enjoy it just as much. We'll be back next week with more of this story, and hopefully Kuga can get out of this situation. But for now, if you want more tabletop goodness, I'll be back tomorrow with Decisive Action Voices of the Mountain, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition double feature module playthrough of Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden and Storm King's Thunder with my own spin on both. And things are just as tense over there as they were here tonight. Stop by if you want more tabletop role-playing games, even if you don't know if you like tabletop role-playing games. We'd love to have you. For now, though, I need to get out of here. And as always, it's time to leave you with these parting words. From myself, my keepers, and those joining me on the stage this evening, to all of you, the regulars, the followers, the newcomers, and the lurkers, whether you're just having a seat by the fire or you've got a running tab at the bar, remember, there's always more stories to tell. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time as we get back into The Way with a new chapter. Good night, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.